It is Tuesday, November 18th. It is time to get in the weeds. I'm Jeremy Lambert. That is SP3. And we hope there is no Cloudflare error in your life. SP3, how are you doing? I've been dealing with these Cloudflare errors this morning.
I just know that X was down for like hours at a time. That was kind of strange, but other than that, no. I didn't know Cloudflare era was the reason why this was going down.
Yeah, Twitter's been down. Our website's been down because it's hosted on Cloudflare. A bunch of websites have been down. I tried to do some banking this morning, and my bank is hosted on Cloudflare. So there's been some issues with the Cloudflare this morning. And what's very funny is the website, like I forget what the full name of it, but it's like it shows you if other websites are down. It's like whatever it's called, like downtime or whatever. That's hosted on Cloudflare. So you cannot check to see which websites are down because the website that tells you which websites are down is down.
Okay.
Down detector. That's what it's called.
Down detector.
Thank you, Bart.
Down.
Yeah, down detector is the website that tells you which websites are down. But down detector is down because it's hosted on Cloudflare. So there you go. We got a lot to talk about today, SP3. It's busy episode of Raw. I tried to get out of reviewing Raw because I said that if Triple H opened the show, which he kind of did because he had to put himself in this video package for some reason. Like, why did he need to be there for this John Cena video package? But of course,
because he was such an important, element of that whole thing.
I was waiting for him to open this show, be at MSG, and tell everyone to cheer for John Cena. Like MSG wasn't going to cheer for John Cena, but he did not open the show. So, and the main event did not end in a DQ. So I have to review this show. It was a good show, though. It was a busy show. Good is a relative term, but it was a busy show for sure.
I heard everybody last week calling the Boston show one of the best Raws of the year. And I thought it was a good episode of Monday Night Raw, but I much prefer last night's episode. And I felt like more of like, okay, that felt more like the best episode of Raw, one of the best episodes of Raw this year, where you had a lot of big things that happened. I like the energy of the Boston crowd. I like the Cena and Dom matchup and the women's WarGames stuff from last week, but a large middle portion of that I could care less about. And yes, Nikki Bella turning heel is one of them. And yes, Nikki Bella was one of the worst parts of this show. Sorry, I'm a Nikki Bella fan. Nikki Bella the GOAT. Please believe I recognize all the fans that she brought to the company, but god damn, this return run has not been the smoothest, and last night's segment was not the best. That's the nicest thing I could say about it. But Raw overall, you had a lot of big stuff that happened. We had 4 major returns on the show. We had TNA being jobbed out. It was a good time on Monday night, and Shane McMahon got ignored. That's pretty awesome.
Speaking of TNA being TNA, they tagged Nick Nemeth's return. Nick Nemeth, also known as Dolph Ziggler, was revealed as Solo Sikoa's jaw-dropping mystery opponent last night on Raw. The tag for Solo Sikoa is @Solo. @Solo takes you to Yenny Solo Aquablock. I don't know the language this is in, but if you go to x.com/solo, it's Turkish. It's in Turkish, apparently, because that's what the translation says. So it is a Turkish, I think, toothpaste that they have maybe tagged here. So Dolph Ziggler lost to a Turkish toothpaste last night, for those who missed it.
So I gotta ask real quick. My big question is: did I miss it, or did WWE not mention TNA not once during Cardona or Nemeth?
No, I thought about that too. I thought about that as well.
I'm like, I even turned up my volume on my TV last night. I was like, he does kind of work for your partner promotion. He's kind of like you have mentioned this is his first match back in WWE in 2 years, but yeah, I heard Ziggler say TNA, but not the commentary at all. Ziggler is the only one between a Zack Ryder return and a Dolph Ziggler return, with both of them playing major roles in your partner promotion, who needs a bunch of help since they're in the process of getting this TV deal. Would have been nice if y'all would have mentioned them.
That would be too much, SP3. It would just be too much to do that. You know what I mean?
Kurt, you can't Zack Ryder, you could say in the chat, Zack Ryder doesn't work for TNA. He, in fact, technically does work for TNA. He is not signed by TNA. Y'all need to realize, I've told y'all this once, I'll tell y'all a billion times. Context is key. Make sure you are double checking your words. And Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, he does work and he is signed with TNA. And no, I am not going to play this game of, we call them by their slave name. They're a totally different person. Sorry, that is their slave name. Dolph Ziggler is his slave name. His actual name is Nick Nemeth. His mama named him Nick. Vince McMahon, the slave owner, calls him Dolph. I am not calling him that. Nick Nemeth appeared on last night's show. I'm sick of this. No, I'm sick of this nonsense.
Well, I mean, technically, Dolph appeared on the show. The character Dolph Ziggler appeared. The man Nick Nemeth appeared. But Dolph Ziggler never worked for TNA. They still should have mentioned it. I'm not going to dispute that. Because they mentioned on SmackDown, like, Cardona's done deathmatch stuff. Like, they mentioned that, but no, they didn't mention TNA stuff at all. Yeah, I noticed that as well and thought it was absolutely hilarious that none of that was mentioned. I was like, don't you, like, you guys have a partnership with him. You've literally put the TNA titles on your television show. It should not be a big deal to be like, he's a former TNA world champion. You can catch him every Thursday, allegedly. On TNA Impact.
Did they even mention he's a former TNA world champion?
No, I don't think they mentioned TNA at all.
Oh, my God.
Our poll question for today, folks. I thought about, let me tell you what it's going to be. What was your favorite moment from Raw? A serious poll question for once on this show, because a lot happened. So, favorite moment from Raw. I thought about putting no Triple H as one of the options. But
damn,
I know,
we could have 5, you know.
Yes, but I know our audience would vote for no Triple H, so I actually want to get a gauge on what people like, what their actual favorite moment from Raw is. So we have John Cena's last Raw match. We have AJ Lee return / Maxxine Dupri winning the women's IC title.
That was my least favorite moment.
Oh, okay. I mean, fair. I understand why. We have Roman.
No, not just because of that. It's because it's a bad decision as well. I mean,
wow.
That's, we're going to talk about that. I'm sorry. That's an awful decision. Great, good story. Good payoff to the story and everything. And I bet that it was Becky Lynch's idea too. Congratulations. Becky is a great professional wrestler. She is not a booker. The booker should have said something to be like, I don't know if the Intercontinental title is going to be as important or we're going to care about it if this person is holding the title. And I predict this title will wind up like the Women's United States Championship by Christmas.
Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar return. Oh, I can't put return. Well, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Everyone knows what that means. And the final option, Dolph Ziggler. Those are your 4 options, everybody. If you like something else, you can put it in the chat, like Alexa Bliss Gamer, who, shockingly, his favorite moment was the Alexa Bliss promo. Not surprising there. But there's your poll.
New York crowd's least favorite moment of the night.
Yeah, that crowd sucked during that.
That crowd was awesome. No,
during the promo? No. During, you can't what a promo. Knock it off. Come on.
I don't care. I don't care. That was
No.
no. This was me. I was Tony Khan on social media. Justified what chance? That was justified because who cares? Who cares? I wasn't on yesterday's show, so I didn't get to talk about the nonsensical BS. I'm trying to not to curse because it's still early in the episode, but the nonsensical BS that was that entire opening segment on SmackDown last Friday.
Yeah.
Oh my God. There was no
SmackDown.
type of logic used in Charlotte Flair saying, I don't want to be on the WarGames team because Rhea, I don't trust you. I don't. Why? That does not make any sense. The only history that you and Rhea have is you, who was a main roster star, multi-time world champion, went down to NXT and beat her when she was too young to even defend herself. She was in elementary school, and you slapped her around during a pandemic so nobody was around to see it and report it. You beat up the child, took her title, made her cry, and lose confidence for a year. Then she eventually gains confidence, becomes this whole new character, beats you at WrestleMania fair and square, and that's it. There's no betrayal. There's nothing that should dictate, oh, I don't trust you now, or, oh, this rivalry has been too blood feud. We've been in Hell in a Cell, and it's gotten too personal. Nothing to justify Charlotte Flair saying, I don't want to be in WarGames. So, yes, I do not blame a New York City crowd with me. If I was in that building in Madison Square Garden, I'm sorry. I'm acting like it's 2001. Sue me. I'm saying what to this BS too. Sure, Alexa Bliss started off the promo with, I've had a rough weekend. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. What the hell? Yo, I would be like, this would be like the Apollo, and I would get that goddamn hook, and I would pull her off the goddamn stage as soon as she started the goddamn promo like that. Oh my God. And then, oh my, Charlotte Flair won't answer any of my calls, and we're supposed to be best friends, and everything we've been through, it's just so, oh my God, it's so bad, we can't text each other, and you're like my best friend, so why won't you do more games with, I don't care, what?
I think the what chants have become misogynistic because it is only aimed at the women nowadays. And that's my issue with them. Just leave them be. Don't make any noise. Boo. Whatever. What chants are lame in 2025? Especially when, again, they are only aimed at the women nowadays. They don't do the what chants to the men. It's when the women do the promos. And when you keep doing that, it's not a great look. You want to boo the stuff, because I don't disagree with what you have to say as far as this whole nonsensical story. We didn't talk about SmackDown yesterday because
I definitely hear what chance for the men. I don't think it's just exclusively done for the women. You can say it's more often done for the women. That's fair. I don't think that is exclusively done for the women. I disagree.
Who have they done it with the men? They don't have an accent.
No, we can't move the goalposts. They have done it. They do it often. If you have an accent, if you're a man, female, doesn't matter. They do it often. This is the one or two times. It's not just done on every woman segment. And some women know how to.
It's not done on every woman segment, but it's
like a Becky Lynch. She knows how to overcome the what chant. With Nikki Bella, they kept her at least short, so she didn't get an overwhelming what chant.
You've named two women, by the way.
But this was long, boring, and no one cared. This is a justified what chant. I understand your point. Your overall point is justified, and it makes a whole lot of sense. I just don't think that this is the example to be using because this was justified. Who cares?
My point is the chant's dumb in 2025. Come up with something better. They want to praise these crowds for like, oh, they're so innovative with their new chants. Take them to Europe. Europe will come up with a new chant that we can steal here in America when promos are bad and too long and don't have a point. Because Americans are just going to keep chanting what? I think the chant sucks. And
But
yes, it is most often aimed at the women.
they're still gonna, even if they just boo them, there's still gonna be some people online. You're being too mean. Like when Maxxine was awful in the ring and she got booed for it or got chants for it, some of the chants were a little bit out of line. But it was all grouped together and say, oh, you guys are being so mean to her. She's just learning. She's just figuring it out. And now you got this goddamn company rewarding her for going from awful to green. Oh my God. What are we doing? And I actually like last night's episode. But between the Alexa Bliss promo, the Nikki Bella promo, and Maxxine Dupri winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship, I have my issues.
Cyclops better than Wolverine. Hey, SP3, why do you hate Nikki Bella? And all women, apparently. Alexa promo, Nikki Bella segment, Maxxine winning the title.
You guys have to ask yourself, why does WWE hate the women? Because you have to ask yourself that. Why does WWE hate the women? Why didn't WWE just let Nikki Bella come out there and attack Stephanie McMahon and not cut a promo? Why did WWE give Alexa Bliss a 5-minute promo when she only needed 1 minute to say what she had to say to make us care? And why would they put the title on Maxxine Dupri? Y'all need to stop going and pointing the finger at the fan that is making these very appropriate and accurate criticisms about a product that I watch actively, and then turn that question around to the TV show that I am criticizing.
I like Louis' suggestion of chanting "Wrap it up." That's a good chant. I would respect a "Wrap it up" chant.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
What was the crowd? I think it was like a sports game or whatever, but they would like turn their backs on it. That's good.
We did that in Hammerstein Ballroom for Batista and Big Show back in 2006.
And I
was in the second row.
And bring back just turning your back on this stuff. We'll start an AEW chant. All right, I can get behind that.
AEW, AEW, AEW.
Just like the what chant sucks.
Alexa, I will give Alexa an A for effort. She did try to turn around the what chant where she was like, "I'll tell you what."
Yeah.
No one cared. No one cared. No.
I just think the chant sucks. I think most chants suck nowadays, though. I hate the "we want tables" chant. Like, tables are used in like every single match. Come up with something better than that. And now they steal all the European singing. Everything's like, all right. I just got to keep going over to Europe so we can keep stealing their chants. We need to be more innovative with our chants. That's all I'm trying to say. And it needs to be more uniform of chanting this across all of the segments, because the men have terrible segments too. And the men have terrible matches as well. They're chanting Walter during the Gunther match. It's like,
that's a great New York City crowd. That's a smart crowd. I love it. Because he came out to the Walter music. Don't blame them. Look at y'all. Look at me defending New York City, man. This is the most.
The New Yorker defends New York. Wow.
I know, right?
Guys, if you're here, we're 18 minutes in the show. Leave a thumbs up on this video. That helps us out. Subscribe to the channel. All of that helps us out. Leave a super chat like you saw Cyclops better than Wolverine leaving a super chat earlier. All that stuff really helps us out. We are here 5 days a week for some reason on this show. 10 a.m. Eastern every single weekday. Myself and SP3 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Myself and Joel Pearl on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So in the weeds every single weekday, 10 a.m. Eastern out here. We've already been talking about Raw, and we can continue to talk about Raw. Might as well at this point. I will say, we didn't talk about SmackDown yesterday because it ended in DQ, so I refuse to talk about it. And anytime Joel doesn't have to talk about wrestling, he will take that out.
Yeah. Howard.
That whole thing on SmackDown sucked. Like, I'm in agreement with you. I was like, why Charlotte? We know she's just going to return. Like, if I had any inclination of like, oh, you know what? This is actually going to be, she's not going to help Alexa. She's not going to be part of the team. I'd be like, this is fine. I actually respect that she's like, nah, I ain't helping you. We do have history. It's not the most blood feud history in the world, like you mentioned, but we do have history, and I don't think I can trust you. It's not only of our battles, but I've seen what you have done to Judgment Day and Dom, and how you've turned your back on them, even though you kind of got kicked out of that group. But I see your overall history. I don't think I can trust you. You were feuding with EO earlier in this year. Now you're best friends all of a sudden. Yeah, I don't think I can trust you here.
That would have been much better. That like bring stuff up that actually reference like they did the whole backstage segment with the rest of the team. I was like, why didn't they do a backstage segment with Charlotte so she can explain? Oh yeah, me and Rhea, we've battled at WrestleManias before, and that loss to Rhea at WrestleMania 39, it changed my career. I shortly thereafter I got injured. I lost a year of my career, and I stem all of that back to that loss against Rhea at WrestleMania. So I can't find it in myself to team with Rhea in WarGames. What did that take? Look at the time. That took me like 30 seconds to say. You're telling me they can't find a minute on Friday Night Show for Charlotte to say that before she leaves the building?
So they did all that, the in-ring promo. Yeah, Charlotte didn't really give the greatest explanation in the world. And I even said in our, I did an article on it, and I said in our staff chat, I'm like, this is probably going to be meaningless by the end of the night when
it was meaningless by Monday.
Yeah, they at least didn't by the end of the night have Charlotte come back out and save them. But yes, by Monday, Charlotte just comes out and saves. It's like, if I thought it was going to lead anywhere, I would have been like, all right, this is something different. This is something interesting. Instead, it did exactly what we thought it was going to do. Charlotte just came back and like, we are friends. I'm still your friend, Lexi, and I will be on the team for you. Like, all right, fine. This whole thing just had no point. It was like they needed to fill some time on both shows, and like, how can we add some type of story to this WarGames match to make it seem like things aren't all copacetic? Oh, here's what we can do. This is how we can get around things. Sure. Yeah, I didn't think it was very good. Alexa's promo, she tried. The material...
It wasn't very good. Let's be honest. It wasn't very good.
The material wasn't good. I give Alexa credit for the delivery.
Alexa is a good promo. She has good skills to deliver any promo, but the context of it, and this wasn't her best delivery. It wasn't like, it was good delivery. It just, the script sucked. No, it wasn't the best delivery that I've heard from Alexa Bliss. I think she was a little bit rattled by how much the crowd did not care and wanted her out the building. I think she was a little rattled by that. And you could tell by some of her delivery later through her whole speech. But it was like, thank God when the Kabuki Warriors, Nia and Lash Legend came out, because Alexa was dying a slow death in front of that MSG crowd.
Yeah. And then you had all the big save, and then Charlotte returned, and okay. The best part about this, legitimately though, the EO hug, and Charlotte just breaking and laughing. Dude, I was cackling on that.
I was like, that's enough to clear this all up, and now we can move on. We can move on. She made her break.
Like, all right, EO has saved this whole thing by hugging Rhea, and Charlotte acknowledging, like, all right, that's funny. I can't pretend to be mad anymore at this. Like, you guys are friends, we're friends. Look at us. EO doing it just like, I got a girlfriend too. I don't care about yours.
Look at mine. She's mine.
Yeah. You got your little friends here. I have my bigger friend right here. We'll see you at WarGames. EO is so good.
They have stacked both women's and men's WarGames ridiculously. Like I have to give. I want to start off this show and say I'm gonna do something rare.
Oh boy.
I'm going to give WWE a bunch of credit and praise.
Okay.
Because really think about it. The last, since 2022, Survivor Series is back. Survivor Series feels like a Big Four pay-per-view again. And I don't know if, how long y'all been watching, but I've remembered Survivor Series and the many deaths of the Survivor Series. Survivor Series has been on its deathbed multiple times in my lifetime as a wrestling fan. It was considered dead in the mid 2000s. Vince was thinking about getting rid of it. It was considered dead in 2013 when it was headlined by Randy Orton versus Big Show, and objectively the worst Survivor Series main event in the history of that whole show. It was considered dead then. It was a dead concept even when they brought back like a WWE title tournament in 2015. They even brought the whole bragging rights concept from a whole show from years earlier to Survivor Series to find some type of new life in the Survivor Series concept. And they dragged that the hell out for the next 5 years. I went to Survivor Series 2021 in Barclays Center in New York City. That was a dumb show, and one of the worst WWE PLEs I've ever been to live. That was more centered around freaking a golden egg than it was about the Raw versus SmackDown or anything like that, or any type of Survivor Series traditional matches. You remember the golden egg more than any of the matches at that show. WWE did a great job. Triple H, being the catalyst ahead of this with bringing the WarGames concept to Survivor Series, but then not just putting WarGames on it and just saying, oh, it's WarGames, that's the big draw. No, they've put WarGames on Survivor Series, and then they stacked it each and every year with big moments, big stars to make it feel important again. 2022, you had the entire bloodline in the WarGames, and that had that significant moment where Sami Zayn showed his loyalty to Roman Reigns and the bloodline, and Jey Uso basically finally accepted him into the group. 2023, you had Cody, you had Seth on one babyface team going against the Judgment Day that had Damian Priest with Money in the Bank, Rhea Ripley on the outside, had Finn Balor when he still had some main event juice. It was all gone by now. But you had that on, and Drew McIntyre was on that heel side. And then you had Randy Orton returning in that matchup. And then to close out the night, you had CM Punk returning. Last year, you had Punk teaming up with the Bloodline with the whole Paul Heyman favor involved. And that was the headline and the big draw last year. And now this year, they got the Super Avengers in the men's. And then it's kind of like the female Avengers for the women with Charlotte Flair, 14-time world champion, Alexa Bliss, who was considered one of the faces of this woman division in like 8-9 years ago. Then you got Io Sky, who's been the best female wrestler in the world today. You got Rhea Ripley, who's the most popular female wrestler in the world today. And then they're versing a heel side that has a mixture of veteran and new talent involved there. And then they still haven't added 2 huge mega stars that are even going to make the star power feel even bigger with Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. So excellent job by WWE. They've really made Survivor Series, and last night's show felt more like a Road to WrestleMania show than a Road to Survivor Series show. But it's something that I think as fans, we should just get used to. That Survivor Series time of the year, there's going to be some big stars involved in WarGames, because over the last 4 years, WWE has made that a tradition and a focus of their yearly kind of plan and build up to this event.
Triple H is a WarGames merchant, is what you were trying to say.
He's a WarGames enthusiast. I'm gonna say it in positive light. He's a WarGames enthusiast, so he always puts his all into WarGames. He might not care about your Night of Champions and your Clash in Paris and your Crown Jewels, but he cares. WarGames and Survivor Series.
Yeah, he definitely cares about WarGames. You know, he's so mad that he never got in one of those matches as well. He's gonna return just to do one. He's gonna come out last. He's not gonna be able to do anything, unfortunately, because of his heart condition. But he's just gonna come in and just, and then everybody just falls down. That's how everybody surrenders. They get water spit on him. Like, please stop spitting. He water tortures them with his spit.
Man. Water boards them with just spitting. He's like, how much does he have stored in there? Oh my god!
I quit. I give up.
I quit.
Stop.
I surrender.
Stop spewing all this water on me. Please stop.
I've always felt though WWE does War Games wrong because they don't do the submit or surrender part of it. It kind of doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
They don't do the top on the top of the cage, and I understand the reason, and I've gotten the understanding of why they have that point of view, and it gives them more room to kind of do stunts and spots like that. So I understand that. But the submit and surrender, it's like, why not just go back to the tradition? It just makes more sense. If it's a war, it should be submit or surrender to win the matchup.
Well, they put the more emphasis on the games is the thing.
You're right.
Yeah, war is not good. They're not a political company.
You're right.
They appeal to children, so that's why they go with the games.
True.
And they're literally trying to make toys and stuff. You can't do a toy with a cell on the top of it because then you can't play with it.
True.
So you got to have the cage where you can get your hands in there. That's my theory anyway. And a Slim Jim submission of WarGames. Slim Jim submit or surrender match is going to be the name of this damn thing within the next year. It's not even going to be called WarGames anymore. Regal, say the line, Slim Jim submits surrender. Like, what the hell are we doing? That's going to be the name. That's good, Grace. You mentioned it. The men's War Games match. So at the end of the show, here comes Team Vision with Logan Paul, who I guess is part of the Vision now, and Drew McIntyre, who is not part of the Vision. And earlier in the night, Paul Heyman was like, you're going to hate who I have as my final pick. And then they looked at the contract, and they're like, oh, shit. He's only named 3 times in this contract. He's named 40-something times in a different contract.
Ooh, that was good. That was good.
Well, they come out, and then here comes Punk and the Usos and Cody, and it leads to a big brawl. And then here comes old Brock. He comes down, and he takes out Punk. He takes out Cody with suplexes, and he's high-fiving Paul Heyman. And here comes Roman Reigns. His music hits. He's got one sleeve on because his one sleeve is strictly for buckets. And he comes down, and he takes out
Allen Iverson.
Yes. He takes out Brock Lesnar with the Superman punch. He gets attacked by Bronson, turns the tables on Bronson. The NYPD comes down. Brock has fled at this point because he knows what that means. And then...
Yo, we did not see Brock when the police showed up!
And then Roman spears the NYPD and Bronson through the barricade in the most dumb spot in the world that I absolutely hate. And
so dumb. I was like, why are you ending the show like this? I want to know if Roman Reigns got shot. Because if I spear one of the NYPD, if I go outside right now and spear an NYPD officer, I am getting shot. And I'm sorry, WWE. No matter what y'all do to whitewash him and make his teeth as white as possible, Roman Reigns does not have the complexion for the protection. So I want to know what happened after Raw went off the air.
Well, Roman's got the money, though. That's the thing. Money can still fix a lot of things, even if he's
that
not
is the only color they see when when it goes on.
Yeah, so
he's like he is not Samoan. He is rich.
Yeah, he's green, so we're good. We ain't worried about anything else here. So we have Roman and Brock Lesnar added to the War Games teams. Let me just be the first to say, thank God Austin Theory is not part of this whole nonsense. Everyone should be ashamed for pitching Austin Theory as being part of this whole thing.
All right, I'm not going to let you get away with that. No one was pitching this. This is a report that was first made by the Wrestling Observer newsletter that people just thought it was going to happen because everything else on the report was accurate except for that.
Fair. But people were seriously entertaining it. Even, I understand it was reported, Dave was accurate about other things, but they seriously entertained it. Instead of, like me, shooting it down and saying, no, this is a dumb idea, and rallying against this. That's what should have happened. Don't entertain this as it's a good idea.
No, we will entertain it because you entertain 1,000 dumb ideas a week. So, sir, this
my track record is better than Dave Meltzer.
This is what we call counterbalance. This is what we call balance in the universe. This is what we call Thanos showing Gamora the knife on the finger and say, "This is how the world should be." Like that. No, this is how it is. You want to entertain House of Torture and all of this nonsense and love it all the worst matches in the world. We're gonna entertain Austin Theory deserves one more shot at the limelight.
No. See, the difference is, I am one person putting out these ideas into the universe. And sometimes I make things happen. But I'm one person entertaining these things. More than one person was entertaining the Austin Theory stuff. We can't have that. Not enough people were rallying against the Austin Theory.
So it sounds like you have an issue with Dave having a big reach. Because that's why multiple people were entertaining this, more people than your dumb.
No, I have an issue with stupidity.
You shouldn't have an issue with stupidity.
Why?
Because you say it. You say that all the time. You offer stupidity all the time.
Yeah, this is how I know what's good and what's bad. Because I'm the smartest stupid person in the world.
No. This is like me being critical of other people criticizing Triple H for being an egomaniac. Like, oh, you shouldn't be doing it like that. You shouldn't be saying any of that. I'm the smartest person. I'm the most objective person when it comes to talking and criticizing Triple H.
Too many people were entertaining Austin Theory as a serious person.
You're making my lights drop and shit.
I didn't do that. Don't put that on me.
I blame you and your gaslighting of stupidity as the reason why my light dropped here. It's like I've had enough of this.
Once again, Austin Theory, not part of the team. Thank God. John Cena still should have been on the babyface team instead of Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso's taking this L so quickly.
Definitely, the heels are. I was like, who's losing on this heel team? This is definitely Jimmy Uso's the most obvious person. If Jimmy Uso wasn't here, it would be Jey Uso. But like, we got two options on this male team of who's taking this loss.
Drew can take the loss. He loses all the time anyway. I don't think he should, mind you, but they don't care about beating Drew.
Logan Paul could take the loss for the heel team too. So.
Yeah, but poor Jimmy just stands out of like, why are you here, dude? Like,
I think they made a mistake. I think they meant just Jay, but you saw Jay and Jey Uso. It was J. Uso twice. That was a spelling error. I'm sorry.
It's like you're not necessary. You're here to take the L, buddy. But we got Brock and Roman on the teams. All right, Roman and Punk teaming again for the second straight year. Maybe it'll actually lead to a singles match at WrestleMania this year. Or maybe, they'll just play cards and just try to say why they're going all in and why they're the best in the world and all these different tells and forget about wrestling out here. Let's just make cinema and make movies. Or they'll do a triple threat match again because God forbid we have these singles matches.
I know that Triple H must have been so proud of himself last night because, once again, this is me showing my age, or not showing my age because hasn't been going on too long. But, man, Vince McMahon tried for a good 7 years to make Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns a thing. And he would have been creaming his pants last night if he heard that reaction for a Brock and Roman stare down. Triple H basically just said, I can do what you wanted to do better than you can last night, because that got the biggest reaction that any Roman and Brock stare down has ever gotten, where it felt like it's been a while since these two men have come across one another, and it felt like a moment of them, both returning on the same night, being a part of WarGames, being the opposition for the other. Roman felt like the only person who can compete with Brock on his team, because Brock came in and completely punked out both the World Heavyweight Champion and undisputed WWE Champion in less than a minute. Just bodies them and says, get out my way, does barely breaks a sweat. And then Roman's able to come in and hit him with the Superman punch. It makes him feel like the difference maker for his team. So I like the dynamics of these teams, despite the way that we got here. I thought that last night's closing segment was well done for what it was. If you turn off your brain, this was a very much turn off your brain, sports entertainment, fun segment. We got returns, we got big pops, we got stuff going on. A lot of it doesn't make any type of sense. It doesn't make any type of sense why Brock came out when he came out, why Roman came out the way he came out, why Roman is teaming up with Jimmy and Jay when he didn't want to speak to them until Christmas. Like, a lot of this doesn't make a lot of sense. So if you think about it, for anything longer than 30 seconds, you will find about 30 logic holes. Yeah, it'll only take you about a second to find the logic holes in this whole segment. But if you turn off your brain, this was a whole bunch of fun.
They should have chanted this whole thing, because it didn't make any sense.
They should have chanted Heyman, but Heyman is such a great talker that he's gotten chanted before as well. He has gotten chanted because he's been a part of a bunch of these awful vision segments over the last couple of months. So he has been whatted before. So that is an example that you were looking for earlier. But he didn't get that because
the vision.
Yeah, they definitely chanted it. They definitely chanted some Seth promos, and definitely chanted some Paul Heyman promos. Yes, because no one cared. That's usually the key. They usually do chants when they really don't care. They don't even care to come up with an interesting chant. They just say what?
They should. That's my real issue, is come up with an interesting chant.
I don't care what. But yeah, I think that they knew what the main event segment was going to be about. They knew they were going to get a big return. They knew they were going to get Roman Reigns, because they were chanting OTC from the beginning of the brawl there. So we'll see.
I like that they did the executive producer before or after Brock came out, before Roman came out, to make you think that, oh, the show's over. But no, here comes Roman Reigns.
He didn't pulled that little
trick. Oh, no, it didn't get me at all. No. No, we all knew Roman was coming out.
Online being like, they got me again. I was like, damn, y'all are gullible.
Yeah. No. I was like, oh, Triple H feels like he's really in his bag tonight. Let me hit him. with the early executive producer thing.
It's like 10:20. They ended the show early, too, but it's like 10:20. I don't believe it's over.
Triple H is like, I got AJ Lee coming out here. I got surprise title changes. I got Ziggler coming back. I got Brock. Oh, you know what the last trick in the book is? We're going to hit the go home early executive producer, but we're not actually going. Roman Reigns is coming back. Triple H was feeling himself after this whole thing.
Like, that's why you can't do it so soon after. You just did that last month with the Seth turn, with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed turning on him last month. You can't do it that quick after. It worked for what it was, but I want to say that the percentage was probably lower on the people that he got with the lower third fake out.
Yeah. I think I don't even remember them doing it on the Seth turn with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah, they did. When they beat down Punk and all the baby faces, they stood tall at the end, and then they put down the graphics, so you would think, oh, it's just another Vision ending the show again. And then that's why it was a big surprise when Braun spears him.
I remember watching that live. We were streaming, the show was on, so we did a live reaction to it. I just don't remember the lower third being there, but I mean, again, I believe you that it happened. Yeah, last night though didn't fool anybody. I'm shocked Triple H didn't come out and tell everyone the show was over. That's how you can really get people. Brock standing in the ring, and then Triple H's music hits.
The show's over now.
Folks, thank you for coming out. You've been a great crowd in New York. Do you deserve a pay-per-view?
Get up on your feet. Did you enjoy the show? All part of the show.
And then Roman comes out. It's like, oh shit, the show's actually not over. Here comes Roman Reigns.
And then Triple H has to be fake Shockley.
Yeah, like he didn't book this whole thing. Yeah. That was a closing segment with Brock and Roman Reigns coming back. We'll see what they do next week on Raw. We'll see if Roman tries to clean up some loose ends here. Punk tries to clean up some loose ends. Heyman tries to clean up some loose ends.
Yeah, we got what, two SmackDown episodes and one more Raw episode. So what do you think how do you think they're gonna work all of this? Because we saw the reports last week, at the end of last week, was the WWE doesn't want to do any overt teases to Roman and Cody because they don't think they're going to be delivering that anytime soon. So how do you think, because it's like no, you don't want to do that if you're not going to deliver the matchup anytime soon, but they have to deliver something. So how do they work their way around that? How is the Roman and Cody interactions going to be if they're not overtly teasing a matchup?
They just shouldn't interact.
Imagine, like, they go through the whole matchup.
Yeah,
there's always someone in between them. They never go face to face.
Cody enters WarGames first, and Roman enters last. So that way your interaction is limited at that point.
And then when they raise hands at the end,
they're on opposite sides.
They're on opposite sides. When everybody's shaking hands, they have a big moment where Roman's staring down with Punk because they're probably going to deliver that matchup first. They stare down with Punk. Cody's over here on the side.
It is kind of dumb that if Cody's the champion, Roman has spoken about wanting to get the title back. So why wouldn't Roman be looking at Cody? I guess Punk has a title too, even though that title sucks. But I guess Punk has a title. And Roman maybe is like, I haven't won that title. Maybe I'll win this title. He shouldn't even interact with the Usos, though. He's like, nah, I ain't talking to y'all.
I don't want to talk to you. Yo, Roman doesn't talk to anyone on his team.
Yeah. Roman's just silent.
He gets a seat inside the WarGames cell, and he's like turned his back on everybody. He's facing the opposite direction, so the fans don't even see him waiting. He's just waiting with his back to everybody.
Yeah, Roman just doesn't want to be there at all. Like, dude, why are you even here? Why did you come out? Look, they paid me a bunch of money, okay? That's why I'm here.
Like, dude, I'm getting paid. That's all you need to know.
Was bored at home. These kids are just running around. I'm tired of them. They said, here, you want $1 million to come back and do this match? And you can beat up Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed and all these guys. But yeah, sure. I'll take that.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. Why not? That works for me.
I don't care who I got a team with. You mean I can enter the match last on top of that? Yeah.
Awesome.
That sounds good to me. So he's the smartest man in this business. Least amount of work, most amount of money. We should all aspire to these heights.
The big dog. He's a big dog for that reason alone.
Elsewhere on this show, it did open with John Cena, actually John Cena, and not Triple H. He came out and he was kind of quickly cut off by Dominic Mysterio. And Cena's like, we can do this again tonight. And Dominic's like, no, we're going to do this on my terms. Survivor Series. That's when we'll do the rematch. Cena's like, okay. And then here comes Finn and JD, who I guess are just cool with Dominic again this week. And then John Cena gets the backup via Sheamus and Ray. Leads to a 6-man. Cena, Sheamus, and Ray win. Cena's a coward for not doing the 619. But they still won the match. Good for them. What'd you make of this whole promo and John Cena's final match on WWE Raw?
Disappointing. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I enjoyed everything. I enjoyed everything that I got. It was enjoyable. It was good. But I had got myself hyped on all these different possibilities that they can do for Cena's final Raw, and I just got a replay of last week with a house show trios matchup, which it was a very good, very fun house show trios matchup. Don't get me wrong, one of the best matches of last night. Would have been the match of the night if it wasn't for the main event of the show. But I just wanted a little bit more from John Cena's final Raw appearance. I wanted more with John Cena kind of talking and reflecting about this being his final Raw appearance instead of going right to the challenge for Dom at Survivor Series. And really, the Dom 2 matches, him facing Cena in Cena's hometown of Boston, and then Cena facing him in his hometown of San Diego, it's just basically a 2025 Edge and John Cena rivalry. It's the same thing they did in 2006. Cena faced Edge in Boston at SummerSlam 2006, and then Edge lost back the WWE Championship to Cena in his hometown of Toronto. It's basically the same thing, and I think we're getting the same result where Dom probably winning the Intercontinental title back. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena wins that one to drop the title to Gunther in the end either, but I just wanted a little bit more from the show. Very fun matchup, though. I like the interaction with Cena teaming up with Rey Mysterio and Sheamus, and especially at the end, them doing each other's finishing moves with the 30 beats of the Bowery and the 15 knuckle shuffle. It was just harmless fun. The crowd ate it up. The crowd reacted to that louder than anything outside of the closing segment. So you can't say it was a failure, but I just had higher expectations. I saw people online talking about a Cena and Punk matchup maybe before his final Raw, and I knew that wasn't going to happen. But he's Intercontinental Champion. Why not have him do the Intercontinental title open challenge? This is the only opportunity we're going to be able to do that. It would have been fun to have him have an Intercontinental Championship open challenge and have a star from NXT. You have NXT talent already in the building because they're going to be at Road Rush tomorrow. Why not have an Ethan Page come out and answer the open challenge? Why not have a Trick Williams come out and answer the open challenge? Why not have an Obafemi come out and answer open challenge? Get some minutes against John Cena. I won't even care because it's the opening matchup, and I know Jeremy can still talk about the show. I wouldn't even care if that ended in a DQ because at least that's Cena doing what Cena really wanted to do. This year. Cena, it's quite obvious by the way he's ending this and the way he talked about the whole concept for the Saturday Night's Main Event next month, the way he reacted to his time at the Performance Center. Cena wanted to spend this year facing the young guys, and y'all never gave him the opportunity to just face the goddamn young guys. You even had an opportunity last night. Do the Intercontinental title open challenge. You don't want to use any NXT talent. JD McDonough was right freaking there. JD McDonough versus John Cena. That's better use of John Cena than anything he has done for 90% of this goddamn forsaken, maligned, and failed retirement tour.
I do love that he confirmed, like, yeah, it was my idea to do the NXT exhibition matches. They wanted to do this big tribute show to me, and I'm like, no. Just do some matches. Put over the young talent. It's like, oh, Cena should have just handpicked his opponents this whole year. Would have been much better than what we got. At least Cena recognizes, like, hey, maybe we should put some young talent over. The average age of the people in this tournament before Nick Nemeth came out last night was 39. Nick Nemeth is on the wrong side of 39. So he raised the average age last night. It ended up being like 39.4 when it was all said and done. And again, like I said yesterday, Javon Evans at 21 was doing a lot of heavy lifting for that 39.
He brought us down quite a bit.
Hey, you take Javon out of this thing? Hold on. Where are we at?
No, we're in the 40s. We're definitely in the 40s.
Oh, easily. So 39 times. All right, I'm getting this all together here. All right, minus 21 divided by 50. I promise my math is good. 40.6 was the average age without Javon Evans. Basically, he lowered the average age by an entire year of this by being in this tournament. That's it. It was, yeah. Cena wanted to face the young guys, and they were like, here's a bunch of 40-year-olds who could possibly face you. I'm with you on, I was hoping for a little bit more out of the Cena promo, but this is the problem when they've booked a tournament for his last opponent, and then they've done this Intercontinental title stuff. This is effectively his last promo because,
Yep.
I mean, you can give him time on Survivor Series. That's not a problem. But then his next appearance is his last appearance. They're not going to, I mean, maybe he cuts one last promo there, but by that point, the match is booked. Everyone's there for the last match. There's no extra build to it, and there's no face-off between him and his opponent like you should have had going into it. I was hoping for a little bit more, and then they just did the dominant cutoff. I was fine with the 6-man tag. He got to team with Sheamus. He got to team with Ray. I'm sure that's stuff that he wanted to do out there. And Dom, Finn, and JD, I guess it made sense because his next opponent is from Judgment Day. Yet I have liked him to face somebody different, get in there with another young talent, yes, but at least they tried to do story stuff going into the final match against Dom because they're not doing any story stuff going into his actual last match. Now, you mentioned it, and this is my concern of things too. If Dominic wins this title back and Cena loses before his last match, I don't think it helps anything. We talked about retiring John Cena and getting that victory and everything. If he loses his second to last match, does it really mean anything if the person who beats him in his last match is
Cena should win on out. He should
yes,
and San Diego for sure, but I'm not too sure about this booking. I'm very confident in the performers on Monday Night Raw to always deliver a good show. The booking and the creative have held them back over the last year.
I think Cena should I think Cena can lose to Dom. I don't love this. He loses to Dom. He wins his last match. I think he should win his last match, honestly.
I mean, we did make that argument. But yes. I don't know. I feel more confident to say that he wins against Dom and he loses against Gunther in his final matchup right now. But I was just thinking about it. You would think that John Cena, he made, what was the number at the beginning of the year? Wasn't it 36 dates?
36, yeah.
36 dates. And yeah, he's had some great match of the year candidates since SummerSlam, with the Cody matchup at SummerSlam, with Logan Paul at Clash in Paris, with AJ Styles at Crown Jewel. Even the men's Elimination Chamber earlier this year was an excellent matchup as well. So he's had 4 great matches. And you'll say, the heel turn kind of held him back from having any other great matches throughout the year. So you would think with 36 dates, he's had a boatload of memorable promos. He's probably had 7 or 8 promos that you will probably be able to mention off the top of your head, because I just figured out the 8 promos that are probably going to be remembered for the retirement tour. And I hate to say this, but none of them would even be in a top 10 John Cena promos. None of them. Not a one. It's the first promo when he turns heel on the Kid. I mean, that might be a number 10 on a top 10 list. That was really good, really memorable. Him and Cody in London. Him and Cody before WrestleMania, the night before the first night of WrestleMania, that promo that they did where Cody had a bunch of really good lines. There was the John Cena pipe bomb against CM Punk. We'll count CM Punk's rebuttal with his rap in there. It was memorable, but maybe for the wrong reasons. I'm saying memorable. I'm not saying good. Do you remember it? Yes, you do. So that it does make the list. When he's torched Logan Paul before the Clash in Paris matchup, that was really good. We'll count last week's show in Boston with him and Dom in that exchange. That was pretty memorable. I think that's it. 7 promos.
I think the Logan Paul one's the most memorable. People are going to point to the pipe bomb thing.
I would honestly say that's the least memorable, but I felt like that was the strongest. I agree. I know if you meant by memorable that's the strongest of the promos, that's his best performance, I agree with you. it's not. If you compare it to the other 6, that's probably the least memorable.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's the strongest though. Yeah, people are gonna remember the pipe bomb probably more than anything,
Yeah.
and the first heel promo. Those are probably the 2 most memorable out there. But I thought the actual performance in the Logan Paul
Oh,
promo
8.
was the
I
strongest.
forgot 8. The babyface turn.
Yeah, yeah.
People are gonna remember that.
Right. These are all memorable because things sucked so bad, and that's why they were memorable. That's it. I wish it was a better promo. I wish he had more to do last night on Raw. He got the match that I think he wanted, which was good. I wish he got a little bit of a longer of a promo.
It would have been much better to see him interact with all the people in the main event.
Well, yeah, he should have.
He has this whole rivalry that's defined this year for WWE with Cody Rhodes. He has all this history, one of the greatest rivalries of all time with CM Punk. He has his history with Roman Reigns. He's never beaten him. He has a history with Jey Uso from this year as well. They're in line. He would have history with Jimmy Uso as well from his rivalry with the Bloodline back in 2023. Yeah, whatever. Well, yeah, Jimmy would be out of it, of course. Yeah. But I'm saying all the people in this fight, and everyone on the heel side is most of the people I wanted to see him interact with throughout this year. And I do want him to get some type of revenge on Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just squashed him, and it's just that's the end. That's it. The heel wins. The legendary star on his way out just loses. Everyone cries. The end.
Yeah, he should have been in this WarGames match. It would have been much better because, and I don't think it's bad, but you replace Jimmy with John Cena. You mentioned all the ties he has to people on his team, the ties he has to people on the opposite team. It's a better story, and you're getting him in there with a multitude of people that fans wanted. People wanted Braun Breaker. People wanted Drew McIntyre. They wanted Bronson Reed. Like you get him in there with those guys. And then he gets the team with Punk and Cody and Roman after battling them for so many years and everything. Like it would have been a lot better. But Jimmy Uso's got to be there.
Because we need to do Cena and Dom. And Cena has to interact with the Judgment Day because they've done such a great job of establishing the Judgment Day as the top heel faction, right? Right? Yeah. They done such a great job that on this same damn show, Jeremy, Andrew Schultz went toe-to-toe with JD McDonough and did not go down. He stood toe-to-toe with a professional. I was so baffled by everything in this segment. I understand. Oh, it was great. The Giants pushed him and the crowd reacted to it all. Okay. I'm sorry. I cannot get over the fact that Andrew Schultz got into a tussle with an active member of the WWE roster and he did not get laid the fuck out.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm like, I can't. You want Scatabo to push somebody in the New York Giants? I think they were offensive linemen. Fine. Those are big dudes. Scatabo, even on a bum ankle, he ain't backing down from anybody. Like I'm okay with that. Andrew Schultz, this comedian dude, the fuck out of here with that. No, he should have got punked out immediately instead of fighting the Judgment Day. I don't care if they had just wrestled. It's stupid. Very stupid. Yeah, I didn't like that either. The Giant stuff, okay. Schultz, nah, get out of here with that bullshit. AJ Lee made her return. She cost Becky Lynch the Women's Intercontinental title. Becky was going to unhook the turnbuckle. AJ's music hit. Becky got distracted. When she turned around, she got hit with a crossbody by Maxxine Dupri. 1, 2, 3. Maxxine is the new Women's Intercontinental Champion. I know SP3's already mentioned how much he hated this decision. But what did you think of the match, SP3?
You remember when we talked about that?
I don't remember shit, crybaby.
remember the first Maxine and Becky matchup in the series when Becky lost by countout. And how I said that started off awful and then turned into something great. And that was probably Maxine's best matchup. And then Maxine looked pretty good in the second matchup. It wasn't as heated. The crowd wasn't as invested in it, even though it was in Maxine's hometown of Sacramento. But it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Last night's matchup, it was fine. Maxxine Dupri is still green. So she botches a lot in her matches. Doesn't look very smooth or clean. Looks very clunky. Becky Lynch has to pull out a virtuoso type performance for it to be anything passable. And she did that last night. And then the finish just fucking sucked. It felt like a finish straight out of the 2010s. Like, it made Becky Lynch look like an idiot. It made AJ Lee the heel to me because Becky has done absolutely nothing to AJ since she lost to her at WrestlePalooza. You could say, oh, she said something bad about AJ. She's done absolutely nothing to AJ Lee since she lost to her at WrestlePalooza. There was nothing that Becky Lynch has said since WrestlePalooza that should have dictated, oh, AJ Lee, oh, this is AJ Lee coming with comeuppance or making Becky Lynch's life a living hell for everything that she said in reverse by AJ Lee coming out here, returning and distracting her. So AJ Lee looks like a heel. She looks worse coming out of this. And then Maxxine Dupri, none of us knew what her finishing move was. And then she finished the move with a high crossbody. I felt like I was watching something out of the 1990s when the high crossbody picked up the victory. It made Becky Lynch look inept that she wasn't able to kick out of this. that just a flying body on top of her, a skinny body at that, flying on top of her was enough to beat her. Did not make her look good. The program did well enough to get Maxxine over, and it gave Maxxine some of the best matches of her career, but the Women's Intercontinental Championship is now dead. It's dead. It will be on the same level as the WWE Women's United States Championship by December because this company only cared about the title when Becky Lynch had it. So putting it on someone that they really don't care about, that only Becky Lynch cares about, and thus why she's done this program that's gotten her over a bit, she is not going to be over against anyone else. So this title is going to die a death. Congratulations, WWE. You rewarded someone from going from absolutely dirt awful to being absolutely green as fuck. Great. You're green as fuck now, and now you can have a title.
Wow. I liked the finish being a high crossbody. I thought it was something different. At least it wasn't a roll-up out there. I can understand Becky being caught off guard with turnaround. She's distracted. The whole story is Maxxine, like, Becky is not in her right mind. Right? That's why she got counted out, she got DQ'd and everything. She's off her game. Then AJ comes out to throw her off her game even more. She gets hit with a crossbody, gets pinned. Okay. I can live with that. Again, it's better than a roll-up. That's the bar is low, and they jumped over the bar there. AJ's just a hater. As a hater of things, SP3, you got to appreciate that AJ Lee just returns like, I'm still fucking with this girl for everything she said prior to WrestlePalooza, for everything she did to my husband prior to WrestlePalooza. Yeah, we want a wrestling match.
She got a revenge. It seems very spiteful.
Okay. Again, she's a hater.
Spiteful.
There's a lot of haters in wrestling. She still has this title. He's like,
This is rude. You would never see anyone in my top 10 greatest women's wrestlers of all time acting this way. That's why AJ did not make my list.
She's a hater. I can respect that she is a hater. Now, I do agree with you on this title is dead. I have no faith that they are going to attempt to elevate this thing or continue to keep it elevated with Maxxine Dupri as the champion. This just felt like, all right, we're going to reward you for working hard. Becky got you over, and here you go. Here's the title. But Raw has too much star power for Maxxine Dupri to be involved in a meaningful feud. Her stuff is not going to be more important than Rhea, Io, Becky, AJ, even Bayley, Lyra, Kabuki Warriors. I guess Charlotte and Alexa will be back on SmackDown by the time. The brand split's a myth anyway. But I still just named like 6 women who you got out there. Vecker, Nikki, there's 8. There are not enough. Maxxine Dupri is not going to be important enough to be part of any of this. I think she keeps the title for maybe a month, and then it moves to like Roxanne or somebody.
So just moved it for no reason then. If it's just for a month or two, I don't see her getting anything out of it.
Well, what she got out of it was beating Becky Lynch. That's what it is. And then what's the follow-up going to be? Yeah, it's probably going to be she holds it for a month, gets one title defense, loses it to Roxanne or Raquel, and then we don't see much of Maxxine for a little while.
And then right back down the... So literally this win meant nothing.
It doesn't have to be this way, mind you.
But that's the most likely way this is going to go, because they rewarded someone who's still green as fuck.
They could.
She doesn't get reps. Like, it's not like giving her the title is getting her more reps. That's the issue. She doesn't have enough reps that she's not going to get any better.
Maxxine should go on just a legacy run out here. So she beat Becky. She needs to after Nikki loses to Vecker, she needs to beat Nikki. Sorry, Nikki, you're just losing a bunch of matches. I like Nikki Bella, but
she needs to say, we're gonna adopt the women's Intercontinental Championship. It's now gonna have speed rules. We're only doing 5-minute time limit matches.
No, 3.
No, 3 is non-title matches.
Yeah, I know, but like really make it more.
That's a really good question, WG Wheeler. Why are green wrestlers not in NA? I've been asking this question about Maxxine Dupri for the better part of 2 years. And interesting factoid that I got about this matchup. Do you know that last night was Maxxine Dupri's second ever pinfall victory in singles competition in WWE? Second in 3 years. Second in 3 years. Do you know when was the last time she got a singles pinfall victory on WWE programming?
You can't talk about wins and losses, SP3. The Diva stands, the Maxxine Dupri stands are going to come after you. Like, who cares that she's never won a match on television? Or I guess she's won one match on television. All right, let me try to think of when she
the answer.
Win.
I have the answer.
Hold on. Let me maybe come on a guess. But again, wins and losses don't matter. SP3. We learned this. Nikki Bella just gets a title shot because she attacked.
Oh, it's obvious. It's obvious that it don't matter. Maxxine Dupri is the Intercontinental Champion. It's obvious.
It doesn't matter. She did she beat Candice during that whole thing?
No, she did not.
Oh, all right. I would have thought that would be the answer. If she beat Candice. She had to win when she first came up against somebody, right?
She did not. No, she did not. Her last victory was in July of 2023, and the only other person besides Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn, the greatest of all time, that she has beaten by pinfall in singles competition in WWE out of the 3 years that she's been with the company, no longer works with the company. It was Valhalla is the only person that Maxxine Dupri has pinned in a singles match on WWE program.
Okay, but that was, again, when she first came up, right?
No, she first came up in 2022.
Okay, but actually got in the ring, not just doing manager stuff. She didn't get in the ring until
2023.
Yeah,
probably 2023. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm literally looking at her cage match right now. She Yeah, her first match was a mixed tag with Alpha Academy against Viking Raiders. And then her next match, literally her first match ever. Literally her first match was the mixed tag match. And then her second match was the match against Valhalla. So yeah, her first ever, well, she's won her first singles match and her last singles match. Who cares what happened in between? She's got a great bookend there. You're only as good as your first match, and you're only as bad as your first match, you're only as good as your last match. And she's got victories in both.
Okay.
I would have thought it was Candice. Man, she didn't even beat Candice after Candice is like, your brother's dead and thinks you suck. Dude, she didn't even win there? Fuck.
No.
I know she pitched that, so I'm not saying anything.
Yes.
Like, she pitched that. She was fine with that. That was literally the story, though. That ruled. Shooter Candice, when she stopped there mid-worm, it was like, the fuck are you doing? Quit doing this dumb shit. Your brother's dead and is disappointed in you.
I was like, thank God someone said something, because the worm is the worst thing that she's done. Luckily, Becky told her after like the first matchup, she was like, don't do that shit against me. She hasn't done it in either of the last two matches. Thank you, Becky Lynch, doing miracles once again.
Man, I really would have thought she would have beat Candice. Shit.
She's only beaten two people in her entire career.
Again, you're only as good as your first and your last match. The John Cena Time Is Now, the last Time Is Now tournament continued. Gunther beat Javon Evans because, God forbid, anybody young win in this tournament. And then
y'all really wanted him to do the 1, 2, 3 kid.
I understand why you're going with Gunther. And if Gunther's the last opponent, fine. My bigger issue is just like none of these winners are like exciting. Like this tournament hasn't been.
Can we just can we just say it now? Like, can we just call it now? Like, Javon Evans and Gunther had an absolutely splendid matchup last night.
Yeah.
I saw someone in the chat saying Javon and Gunther had the best match of the tournament so far, LOL. You needed to erase the so far and the LOL. They had the best match of the tournament. There's not going to be a better matchup, especially in the first round, because I think Bronson Reed and Carmelo Hayes will be good. It won't be as great as this matchup. Won't have the crowd in Madison Square Garden. Won't have a young guy who's working with a chip on his shoulder trying to prove himself, and won't have a returning Gunther. So that match will be good. It won't be as great as this matchup. And I think Finn Balor and Penta should be good, but it won't be as great as this matchup. So it was the best match of the tournament, of the first round of the tournament. But God damn, everyone that's won before Gunther has absolutely not interested me whatsoever. Do I want to see John Cena's final matchup against Rusev? Do I want to see John Cena's final match against Sheamus? And I know there was a bunch of fans last week who were kind of rallying behind that, saying, oh, Sheamus put out the tweet saying 2009 he beat him in a tables matchup, and now this 2025 he could beat him in a tables match. And I'm pretty sure that in 2025 Sheamus will probably have a better matchup with John Cena than he ever had with John Cena. Do I want to see it? No. Then you go over to the SmackDown side, LA Knight versus John Cena. That would have been great 2 years ago. I don't want to see it now. Who else won on SmackDown last week? I forget because it doesn't really matter because none of the last time we don't even have a bracket. We don't even have a bracket for this whole thing. Do I want to see John Cena versus Jey Uso?
That's who won on SmackDown. Jey Uso beat The Miz.
I know. I figured it out. Please, no. I do not want to see that. I am good on that. I'm good on John Cena and Jey Uso. I'm good on Jey Uso getting any more big-time matches for the rest of the year. I'm good on that. Outside of WarGames. That makes sense. John Cena versus Solo Sikoa, I'm seeing that. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that
He's memorable. The youngest person remaining in this tournament.
Don't want to see it again. John Cena versus Carmelo Hayes. I do want to see that. Is that any way that's going to happen? No, it's not. John Cena versus Bronson Reed. I would love to see that matchup. 10 years ago when John Cena could lift him without having sciatica afterwards. I'm good on that in 2025. Do I want to see John Cena versus Finn Balor? It was good in 2018. It was never great. And John Cena is not as athletic as he was 7 years ago. So do I want to see it now? Not really. And Penta, I would have loved to see that in this retirement tour, but it's too little, too late. So there's only one option. Get over it. Stop crying online about it. Oh, Gunther gets everything. Oh, Gunther. Oh, why does Gunther need this as well? Oh, my God, he's a two-time world champion. Oh, my God, he's a record-breaking Intercontinental champion. He's a King of the Ring winner. Why does he need this as well? Do you get it yet? Did you just hear that resume? Is that the reason why WWE is doing it? Duh! They are creating the next all-time great with Gunther. They got your Seth Rollins. They got their Cody Rhodes. They got their Roman Reigns. I know for one thing, the two people that me and Triple H both like and both would push if we were in charge, Io Sky and Gunther. He loves these two people. So he is making Gunther into having this all-time great resume. And honestly, he's kind of already there. Two-time world heavyweight champion, longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time, King of the Ring winner. Like, he's done it all. The one things that he's just adding different things now with the retirement of Goldberg, retirement of John Cena. He's eventually going to win the WWE championship. They are solidifying Gunther's spot in the upper echelon with that top four that we always talk about of Punk, Seth, Cody, and Roman. He's establishing him in that upper echelon. Hopefully it works. Hopefully he pulls the trigger on it. But unfortunately, he doesn't decide to pull the trigger on these type of things until the person's like 38 years old. So Gunther's 39. He'll be 40 next year. So he'll be a top star. He'll be solidified of it. But he'll be another 40-year-old top star by the time Triple H finished this job. So congratulations, Braun Breaker. Our 12-year plan has just started.
Too bad Gunther tapped out to Jey Uso at WrestleMania. Now, I don't have an issue if it's Gunther. I'm fine with that. I like Gunther. Is it the most exciting thing in the world? Maybe not, but it's better than, I mean, you just ran down the options. That's my real issue, is I don't think the options are good. I don't think the options have been good. I think the people who've been in this tournament have been bleh. And then they didn't do any like fun winners off of this. You tell me Javon couldn't have faced the Miz in the first round and beaten the Miz in the first round? Like, oh, that's something different that's out there. They get another Javon Evans match on the main roster. Like, we couldn't do something like that for this tournament. It's just, no, the people who won, you kind of expected them to win. These options are really that great. Gunther is the best option, so fine. If he wins it, great. I still think Cena should win his last match for reasons we mentioned. I actually think there's a, I don't think it's going to happen. I wouldn't totally hate. I think a lot of people would. I personally wouldn't. Sheamus beating Cena and winning the Intercontinental title. I don't feel like they're ever going to pull the trigger on this Sheamus Intercontinental title thing until Sheamus is like 50 and they're like, all right, fuck it. Let's do it now. But if there's an opportunity to do it here, and there is, it's a good story. If that's how Sheamus completes his Grand Slam, it's a good story.
It could be a good story. I'd rather the story of Sheamus beating Gunther. Gunther is the one that denied him so many times to win the Intercontinental Championship. So I wouldn't mind Gunther being the one to beat Cena, retire Cena, and then Sheamus beats him.
I could get behind that. I just don't know if they're gonna have Sheamus beat Gunther.
No, I don't see that happening. Not necessarily. Honestly, I don't even think. Like I said, I can see a situation where Cena loses the title to Dom and then just loses the retirement to Gunther. Gunther gets the real reward is him retiring John Cena. It's not the Intercontinental Championship. And if that would happen, then Gunther would have to be a favorite to win the Men's Royal Rumble next year.
Yeah,
because he would be solidified. Like, you retire John Cena, the next thing for him to do would be win the Rumble and dethrone Cody for the title.
I mean, that's where they should go if he's going to retire Cena, because I think they dropped the ball on he retired Goldberg, and that led to, okay, you lose the CM Punk, and then you've been off television since then. I know, broken nose and everything. I do think like that was kind of planned time off anyway, but You're just off television after all of that. So retiring Cena, I still think retiring Cena doesn't mean as much, especially after the Lesnar loss, especially when we know it's his retirement match. And then especially if he's going to lose the Dom in his second to last match, then retiring Cena really doesn't feel like it's this big accomplishment. And I have no faith that WWE is going to make it into this big accomplishment, honestly. But if they can, then, and if that's where they go with Gunther, then yeah, just go all out with him next year. I'm doubtful on this stuff. I'm always doubtful when it comes to WWE and making guys, honestly.
I am like doing this video, so I won't go too much in depth with it. But this whole John Cena thing, man, I want to rebook this whole retirement tour because like he just got it all wrong. And if we were gonna end up here, there was so many other things that we could have accomplished in this whole run. Like I saw somebody in the chat, like he should have had a match with Obafemi, he should have had a match with Javon Evans, should have had a match with a bunch of the young stars on the main roster, and you could have done that if you just never do the heel turn. The heel turn was the mistake, and everybody wants to blame, The Rock. The Rock wasn't here. That's the reason why. No, this is Triple H's decision. The Rock did not suggest for John Cena to turn heel during his retirement run. Did he agree with it after Triple H went to that as a pivot? Yes, he did. So he deserves blame for that, but he did not come up with the plan. This was all Triple H's idea. Triple H's big pivot to go away from Cody turning heel, which was the right decision because Cody was at his peak at the beginning of the year. He was coming off the Kevin Owens rivalry. When you have a babyface that's at the peak doesn't last all that long. The peak for Cody had lasted almost a year after he won the title. He rode off the peak. But the reason that you turn him heel at the peak is because then you can have a new peak with him as a heel. So thus, Elimination Chamber was the perfect time to turn Cody heel. And if you're not gonna do that, you don't have to do either one. Just do John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, babyface versus babyface. It worked out great at SummerSlam. It would have been better at WrestleMania. And you have Cody beat Cena. Cena can talk about how he's not won a singles match for all this time. Then you could do Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash in St. Louis to give him his confidence back. He beat Randy Orton. You could do Cena and Punk at Money in the Bank. And then right after that matchup, that's the end of the nostalgia run. He doesn't face anyone he's already faced. He goes on a run. He does open challenges against young stars. He has a run of young star matches on Raw. We get the Dom match early. He can win the Intercontinental title back, get his confidence that way, and do the Intercontinental title open challenge for the rest of the summer through SummerSlam into the fall. And that's how we end off the year with Cena riding high. He's regained his confidence. He's Intercontinental champion. He's on a winning streak. And that's why it's a goal, why everybody wants to win the last time is now tournament, to be the one who could end this winning streak and take Cena down before he retires. That sounds much better than what we actually got.
Yeah. I've ranted enough about the John Cena turn. It's whatever. There's 2 appearances left. They've booked it how they've booked it. John Cena, thankfully, has saved his entire run because he finally said, this is what we're doing. Knock off your bullshit, Triple H. And that's why Triple H had to start the show last week, because Cena finally put his foot down on stuff, and Triple H is like, let me remind people that I'm still important when it comes to this stuff. I'm still
in charge. I'm still the one who says yes to things, guys.
Yeah.
So give me credit, too. I deserve credit, too.
Dolph Ziggler came back. Nick Nemeth, he lost, just like Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona lost. I would do a surprise, like one of these guys wins. You don't want to beat LA Knight, fine. Again, have him beat someone that was going to lose anyway. It doesn't matter in this tournament. Have him, honestly, Cardona beat Finn Balor. They ain't doing anything with Balor. They don't actually care about Finn Balor. You haven't beat Finn Balor, fine. Do that. Have Nemeth beat Finn Balor. I mean, Nemeth could have beat Solo. It would have been fine. But they're like trying to maybe make Solo a thing ahead of Survivor Series. They're always trying to make Solo a thing. But yeah, Just we don't do a surprise ending here. Do a surprise winner. Like, oh, Nick Nemeth is here just to lose the Solo Sikoa. Solo kicks out the zigzag. That was hilarious. They're like, yeah, we're gonna bring you in, just like LA Knight kicking out a Rough Rider. We're gonna bring you in, bury your finisher, and then you lose. We're never gonna mention TNA, even though they're a partner with us. We're gonna sign a short-term merchandise rights deal for you, so we can get a cut of that money instead of you getting all the money for yourself on your pro wrestling tees shop or wherever else you want to have your merchandise. Thanks for doing good business, guys. Sorry we released you during a pandemic. Thanks for doing good business.
I'm so surprised that Tony Khan wouldn't take that deal for Edge. You know, sounds a good deal. So short-sighted, that Tony Khan. I enjoyed this matchup, though. I enjoyed this matchup a lot. I thought that Dolph Ziggler, outside of Gunther and Javon Evans, was the best wrestler on last night's show. This dude was acting like he was back in 2012. He was bumping around for everything that Solo was doing. He made Solo look like $1 million. That was Solo's best matchup. And I don't even remember. I think maybe the Sammy matchup where he lost the title. All I can remember from Solo this year is that awful cage match. I'm sorry. That cage match changed my whole perception of Solo's 2025. And now I don't remember if he had any other good matches. But this was good. I thought Dolph looked great out there. He got a huge pop. That crowd treated him like he was an absolute superstar. I know there was people that were upset that they thought that Matt Cardona should have came out at Madison Square Garden, and I do agree. It would have been Cardona got a big pop on SmackDown, but he would have got even bigger pop on Raw in comparison to Ziggler. I think he would have even got a louder pop than what Ziggler got last night. But Ziggler, they treated him like a superstar. He looked like he never even left. That's why it would have been nice to say, oh, he's been actively wrestling in our partner promotion, but I don't care about that. Anyway, Ziggler, I would, if I'm looking at that reaction in a Vince McMahon led WWE, that reaction and how Ziggler looked would have got him a job. If I'm looking at a WWE world with Vince McMahon, how Vince McMahon used to value the Madison Square Garden crowd, Javon Evans would have got called up after last night with the reaction that he got. But we're not in that world. We're in the TKO era. We're in the Triple H era. So, Javon, you have to wait till you're 30 to get called up. And Dolph, you go back to TNA.
Maybe they had them lose because it's like, wait a second. We just saw Nemeth lose at Turning Point in the tag team match. We can't have this guy come in here and beat our guys.
Even though he's going to be TNA World Champion. So.
Cardona, spoiler alert, folks. Cardona loses to Mance Warner at the TV tapings. So they were like, wait a second, this guy's losing to Mance Warner on the TV? No, we're not putting this guy over.
He didn't lose to the next day, though. He didn't lose to the next day.
Well, TNA, of course, wasn't going to capitalize on Cardona making a WWE appearance and be like, hey, maybe we should like do something with him. Nah, just have him lose a match.
Just have him come in, lose this damn matchup.
I thought Ziggler looked great. Ziggler always looks great, though, especially when like he wants to go out there and he has something to prove. And in this moment, after the release and everything, he had something to prove out there. So he did look great. I don't think it's going to lead to anything for him. I think it should. The pop is whatever, because I don't put the full stock into, hey, you got a surprise return pop. Is that going to last after that? Especially when you're in a market like New York and you're at Madison Square Garden. Like they were, like you said, I think Ryder would have gotten just as big, if not a bigger pop on this compared to
Joe Hendry would have got a pop.
Yeah, Joe Hendry would have gotten a pop. But you got to look at the work. And like you mentioned, like Ziggler worked really strong in this match, and I think that is a long-term benefit to the company, even though Ziggler's 45, which means he's a future main eventer. But yeah.
Of course, that means that he should be a main event talent. But I just think that Ziggler is just better off in WWE. I think that's the best thing for WWE, because you get a veteran performer who can always step up in these big situations, and you could place him against a couple of your young stars as kind of like a guide or a veteran mentor for them. I think that would help out WWE a lot on the main roster. And Ziggler, for his own part, yes, he looked great last night, but I don't think he's looked that great anywhere else. I have not thought he's looked that great in TNA in the last 2 years, and he had a very disappointing run that only lasted 2 months in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
I don't know how much. Like Ziggler's always just been such a WWE guy that I think he wants to work hard, and he does work hard on the indies and these other companies. But we see it all the time with these ex-WWE guys who like go there and their level just kind of will drop off because it's not 10,000 people in the arena. It's however many people. Like you're working to a lesser crowd, and guys just we saw it with people in AEW, and that was nationally televised. Guys just they got the WWE brain of like, this is not the big show, so I don't need
WWE
to work.
brain rot.
Yeah, I don't need to work quite as hard here. Yeah, I think Ziggler does very well. He does work hard in most cases. And the New Japan run was hilarious in hindsight, honestly. That felt like a thing of like, I'm just trying to, and this honestly feels like a big part of Ziggler's whole run, which is a reason why I kind of got to respect it a little bit. It feels like he's doing the let me get my brother work with a lot of this stuff. Because that New Japan run, Ryan Nemeth had no reason to be there for that.
He
and Ziggler's like, come on.
Trying to work his brother into an IWGP Tag Team Championship matchup. And Gato said, fuck you. I'm good. It's like, you could win the global title, and then you can drop it, or you could defend it once against Tanahashi, and then you could drop it right back to Finn.
Yeah. We'll see what Ziggler does moving forward in TNA, if you know he is in TNA, because you wouldn't know if you watched the show.
Wouldn't know if you watched last night's show.
Nope. Anything else from Raw, SP3?
Don't give Nikki Bella a live mic.
Hater.
I don't know how much I could emphasize that, but that promo was not good. It was not natural. And it made her trying to say, I understand that Nikki Bella is of, Mexican descent or Armenian? I don't know, some type of Hispanic descent. I understand. She speaks Spanish. Oh my God, her speaking Spanish made her sound like the freaking Stephanie McMahon meme of I said something in Spanish to a Spanish waiter. Look at me. Like that was what her saying, mamacita, senorita. Like, what are you talking? I was like, you Hispanic Karen? Shut up. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it existed. And we're going to get back her and Nikki at the pay-per-view. Okay. Should be good.
Oh, yeah. Stephanie, Godspeed.
Should be good. Koma saying, you have, obviously, in some cases where some wrestlers get releases and it's like the chains are taken off.
Yeah.
I feel like those, for the most part, are guys who weren't in the WWE system quite as long. And they weren't like top-level main roster kind of guys. Cardona might actually be an exception, and Cardona wasn't like main level WWE, but he had stories and everything. But he actually went to the indies and everything to like really reinvent himself. But his work in TNA has just been existent. There,
mediocre.
the indie stuff is where he's like trying to really boost that, at least during the early part of the run. Now he's kind of done everything to where it's like, okay, what title can you win again? What can you do again? But, other people who, like a guy like Dijak, a guy like Ali, they were never top level WWE guys. So when they go to the indies, like, now it's let me show what I can really do without restraints and everything. And then again, you got the opposite where I think Ziggler, again, has done fine, but it's maybe a little less than we've expected overall. And you get some guys who just got released and they just weren't going to work.
Nothing.
Again. Yeah. Braun Strowman, he's got a television show. I'm talking about the first release. Braun Strowman tried to do just control your narrative out here. Bray, when he got released, he wasn't signing with anybody. He's like,
Nope.
I'm just gonna bide my time, wait things out, and everything. So yeah,
Dakota Kai talked to talked to AEW the first time she got released, and then wound up right back in WWE.
and we'll see with her. I mean, she hasn't done anything.
She hasn't done
since
anything
this
yet,
latest
which makes me feel like
release.
she's waiting for that callback.
Yeah, they could use her on SmackDown. Shit, that group sucks over on SmackDown. I love how Jade Cargill's first title challenger is going to be Michin.
Where she just pushed her down and Michin tried to act like she was going to get up and do something, but she literally had to walk around so the referee could get in between them. I was like, this is so comically badly done that I can't even. I want to see it. I want to see more. I want to see more.
I love Michin. She's a fantastic person. Come on now. How many matches can she lose just to continue to get title shots? What are we doing?
I don't know.
Because they have nobody else. That's the issue. They have nobody else there.
It feels like Michin had a really good 6-month run in NXT, and this has been more often than not her WWE run.
Yeah.
She had that nice 6 months where she got over for being the HBIC with the new theme music and everything, coming out with the bandana and doing this in NXT. But that was it. That was the height of her WWE run.
What was your moment of Monday, SP3?
My moment of Monday had to have been the ending of Monday Night Raw, where it felt like for the first time in several months that WWE felt hot again. They did a basically turn your brain off, sports entertainment, fun return segment, and it worked out very well. You could throw in the AJ Lee's returns and the Dolph Ziggler returns on the show, but the final segment is what WWE has become known as in this era with Triple H.
My moment of Monday was not seeing Triple H open the show and actually getting John Cena coming out to open the show. That was the best moment. That was the biggest pop from me on the night. I was like, oh, thank God. Thank God he's not there to open it. They did the wide shot of the crowd. That's when I knew. I was like, oh, okay, Cena's coming out first, because if Triple H was in the ring, they'd focus on him immediately.
Bow down to the king. I did see someone in the chat ask earlier, why the hating on Triple H? He is the boss.
Who asked that?
That was the comment. I remember it vividly. You probably should. But if you're new to the show, the reason why you would classify the things that we are saying about Triple H as hating, and the reason why you classify Triple H as he is the boss, is because you have been misinformed. I think that's just plain as day, because you call Triple H the boss when he is in fact not the boss. He is not the boss of TKO. He's not the boss of WWE. He is the head of creative. I know that's probably easy for you to say boss instead of head of creative, but it's not technically correct. You are factually incorrect by saying that he is the boss. He is not the boss of anything really in WWE or in TKO. So that's one. Two, it is not hating when we are giving valid criticisms to what Triple H and how he has used the product as a big home to say, I am great. I am the master. I am the puppeteer of everything. The veil has gone down for most people. Maybe it hasn't for you, but I will remove the veil for you and tell you everything that Triple H, whenever you see him on camera, is to tell you, I'm in charge. I deserve credit. I deserve praise. And that is why you will say, whoa, these people are hating on Triple H. No, this is what we call in reality on this here planet Earth, in this timeline, in this multiverse, this is what we call honesty. Maybe you should get used to it.
SP3 just hitting him with the "this is honesty." Like, wow. Do we have? You're doing C-suite special C-suite episode,
yes.
since we were under renovation last
Yes,
week?
I opened it up for double the the C suite for you folks. So you get one on Tuesday, one on Thursday. I will be watching Evolve on Thursday morning. I will be working Thursday morning, so I need my background noise. But I do watch it. I'm kidding. But yes, it's time for the C suite. The C suite. It's time for the C suite. The C suite. It's time for the C suite. The C suite. It's time for the C suite, where we watch C level WWE shows in the C suite. Last week's WWE Evolve on Tubi, it was headlined by WWE Evolve Men's Champion Jackson Drake defending his title against Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver has been chasing this title for the last couple of months. I thought they had a really solid matchup, good back and forth, especially down the stretch. You didn't really know who could win. Keanu Carver did feel like a threat to finally end this reign from Jackson Drake, but in the end, he would go after the injured hand. He would use some distraction from, he tried to use some distractions and other nefarious tactics, but he would hit the unaliving, his running knee strike for the victory to retain the WWE Evolve Men's Championship. Like I said, solid matchup. Another good title defense on Jackson Drake's books as he prepares for this Tuesday on Gold Rush, Jackson Drake versus Sean Legacy for the WWE Evolve Men's Championship. In the opener, we saw the number one contender for the title, Sean Legacy, pick up a victory against the debuting Eli Knight. I thought just like Mike Cunningham from the week prior, I thought Eli Knight looked pretty decent in this first matchup. He didn't look like someone who is very like green and still getting used to the ropes. He felt like someone that was comfortable in there with Sean Legacy, and Sean Legacy knows how to make all his opponents look well here. So it made him look good, got the victory. Post-match, he tried to give him some guidance, give him some words of advice. That brought Riggins and Presley to interrupt the interview with Chewy Martinez at ringside. They started talking trash about both guys, which brought out the returning Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher is back. He issued a challenge to Riggins and Presley to verse two of his WWE ID talents on next week's show. But it's time, ladies and gentlemen. This is why people wanted us to talk some C-suite on Thursday. Because we gotta talk about everyone's favorite, Yam Yam Bigelow, the American Cream, Busted Rose, the Ultimo Wagon, Thick Cheney, Thick Flair, the one and only Nikita Big Cat Lyons. Let's go. Let's talk about it. She had one of the greatest backstage segments in the history of Evolve, where she approached Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs, who are making TikTok dance videos, and basically was like criticizing them, saying they don't got the moves, they can't do all of that, they can't sing like her, they're not a performer like Big Cat. This led to Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs taking some shots at her, issuing a challenge for Mason Holiday versus Nikita Lyons, which Nikita Lyons accepted, and then walked her way off camera, which is one of the greatest gifts in Evolve history. So we got an all-timer backstage segment and an all-time gift of her twerk walking away. That's why I do this now whenever I talk about Big Cat, because that's what the hand motion that she did as she twerked walk away from Mason Holiday. She would pick up the win against Mason Holiday with the big van vagina bomb right on her ass, right on her. 1, 2, 3. Big Cat picking up the victory. We are here. The Big Cat fan club, the Big Cat FC is on. Stocks is going up on Nikita Lyons. Stocks is going up because her health is not. So we're going up with the stocks. Big Cat, Nikita Lyons, the star of last week's episode of Evolve, and that was the C-suite.
I died at that backstage segment. I was like, can you have a more perfect Evolve Nikita Lyons segment than you guys are doing TikTok dances? Oh, you got the perfect person for this segment. Bring in Nikita Lyons. That was so hilarious. Yeah, the twerk walk as she was leaving. Like, what the hell? Absolutely rules. I don't know if she'll ever get past like Evolve or just a bit player on NXT and backstage segments. She could legitimately find a role as just backstage comedy fodder doing TikTok dances and like interrupting girls and just doing bullshit like that. I don't need to see her in the ring. It's never been good in the ring. But if she's just backstage and just wants to interrupt and be a mean girl and like dance and throw shade, yeah, and twerk walk out, I'm all for it.
I just need her on NXT every week, just shading everybody.
NXT loves that bullshit. Yeah, NXT loves that stuff.
They have a million backstage segments every week.
Yeah.
Give me Big Cat, even if she's not involved in it, just her in the background, just walking out, even though she's not involved. You know, they always have these segments in the women's locker room where there's a whole bunch of women in the background, and we're only supposed to focus on the two women in front of the camera. I just want to be. I want to see her like start off the camera and twerk walk through the scene.
I need this shit on the main roster too. They love their. They love their.
Yes, they
stuff.
love the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
They love the Easter eggs. Keep up, Big Cat, just start walking throughout the backstage. It's like a Where's Waldo, and every week everybody's popping because they're like, "Did you see it?"
You know this segment. Here's now. This is all I can think about. You know the segment where like Solo is talking to Adam Pearce on SmackDown, and then they leave, and there's Uncle Howdy. Imagine behind Uncle Howdy, Nikita Lyons just twerk walking behind him.
And then when she's gone, Uncle Howdy looks behind him like he knows he felt something.
Yeah. He felt the power of the twerk. It's like there's been a disturbance in the force.
Oh my god. The twerk walk needs to be a main roster bit. Come on. What are we doing? We're missing out on big time money here.
Yeah, I kind of need this. I kind of need this, honestly.
Oh, man. Big Cat.
We had a super chat from Louie. Is any update on Loving on Me? So Blake Christian had a tweet yesterday where there was a Jack Harlow gif from the music video of Loving on Me, and that was it. No further update. I think I was the most tagged person on this tweet.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Everyone tagged me on this tweet. I don't know what this means, folks. I can say I messaged Tony and I'm like, did this happen? Maybe Tony will give the answer on Ariel Hawani's show today.
There you go.
But I was like, did this happen? I will go to Final Battle if this is going to happen. I'm not going otherwise. I don't care about this Final Battle show enough. But if I know for certain 100% that Lovin' on Me will be played, I will be there. If it's not certain, if it's not 100%, I'm not showing up. Because I'm not going on the whim of like, fingers crossed, maybe this will happen. I don't like ROH enough to do all that.
So I got the perfect. You're giving me material, so I got the perfect question to ask Tony on Saturday.
Are you gonna be at Full Gear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got accepted over the weekend.
Okay, nice.
For like the first time in forever. But I'll take it.
They're desperate, clearly.
I'll ask them. I'll be like, we saw a tweet this week that got a lot of fans excited. So I think the big question everybody wants to know: have you talked to Jack Harlow? Are you getting Lovin' on Me for Vanilla Baby, Blake Christian?
You should ask. Our audience will appreciate. Joel was not a coward at the last show, and he asked this question. That was the best answer Tony gave too.
It was.
Is that so? Look, I think you should ask this. I want to know if this is going to happen.
Especially, or we're gonna hear it happen in the Casino Gauntlet, and I get to ask about what went into it, because you did say before you declined the offer before. So did something change? Did you have to give more money? Like, we need more details about it.
Oh, yeah, that's good too. I would love to hear it in the Casino Gauntlet. Would love that. Mm-hmm. Funky yo mama, fuck yo mama, 2 times. 2-time fuck your mama. The TK reached out to Jack Harlow. Mr. Harlow declined the offer, and he said Blake Christian mentioned that in his appearance on Hey EW. No. Fuck your mama.
Here.
Fuck your answer.
He said it here first.
We got that scoop. That was a scoop on In the Weeds. Blake Christian said it on this show, and then Joel Pearl asked Tony at the All Out press conference of when are we getting Lovin' on Me by Jack Harlow, when Tony said, I've reached out, it did not happen. RJ City, he's not a real journalist out here. He ain't getting these real answers. We got those real answers. I wanted him to give me a personal shout out. I wanted Blake Christian to say that dork from Fightful. I would have been happy with that.
Dork from Fightful was talking about it. You know, we want to do it for him.
This one specific dude keeps tweeting Jack Harlow every single day. That's what I wanted. Oh well, maybe it'll happen at some point.
One day. One day.
Yeah. So I don't know what the story is. I'm trying to get it. I truly want to, like, I want to be surprised, but I also want to know. That's the thing. I want to be surprised, but I also want to know. Because if it's going to happen at Final Battle, then I want to be there for it. But the only way to know is if I'm told in advance. I'm not going to spoil it. I guess it would be spoiled if I go to Final Battle.
Final Battle to you?
Columbus is only like 2.5 hours, 2 hours. It's pretty easy drive, yeah. That's why I went for the Playboi Carti concert, so it's not a bad drive at all. I guess people will know if I show up to Final Battle. They're like, "Oh shit, he got the rights. Jeremy's there."
Otherwise, I'm like, it's happening.
I'll bring more interest to Final Battle in that.
What date is Final Battle?
December. I don't know.
12th.
Oh, is it the same 12th? Yeah, that sounds right. I was about to say, is it the same night as Cena's last match? Because then, fucked.
Nah, I think the day before, right?
Oh shit! Actually, I can't do it anyway.
What?
It's December 5th, and man, December 5th is busy as hell. That's Final Battle. That's a TNA show. That's SmackDown. Yeah, I couldn't show up anyway. I have already have plans that night. Yeah, I have personal stuff going on. Nothing bad.
I don't understand why they always do Friday shows.
I'm fine with a Friday show, but just like,
I'm not. I prefer these companies always do the weekend.
I mean, fair.
And they're not all running shows on the same day.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot. Like, especially the TNA show being on the Friday. I hate the TNA shows on a Friday.
I always hate when I still have to go back and watch. I think rewatch the Rascals matchup from Turning Point, because I was watching Turning Point and SmackDown at the same time.
Yeah, December 5th is a busy ass day. Oh well, I got other stuff going on, so when I get home, I'll be immediately locked into work, but I will not be doing work for the early portion of the night anyway.
Get to it eventually.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll be fine. Anything else we need to hit on, SP3?
We got to hit on the NBA. The NBA, MVP of the NBA. No, I've been hearing some people talking about the best duo in the NBA right now. Okay. And people have been talking about maybe KD and Sengun have entered the chat. What do you think?
Yeah, they're good, and it's kind of
Sengun
annoying.
has been
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Sangoon's been
this
really
year.
good. Yeah. Yeah, he's been really good. Like, I watched that game against the Magic. The Magic completely, like, they blew that game. All Anthony Black has to do is hit a free throw, and you're up 3 with 3 seconds remaining. You foul him, play a free throw game, or just let him take the 3 and hope they miss and everything. But he misses the free throw, and then they get the and then the Sengun, like, credit to him, he seals off and he scores to tie the game. I didn't love that they didn't guard the inbounder there on that play because they were just so worried about like Durant and like hitting a shot or somebody else hitting a shot that they just couldn't that they didn't double up on Sengun, so they doubled up on the perimeter, which left the paint open on the pass. And if you guard the inbounder, that pass is a lot more difficult to make. So the Magic just kind of screwed that game up. But yeah, KD and Sengun have been really good. The best duo is the guy with the MVP and whoever he's on the court with. That's the best duo.
No, it doesn't work. Sorry. The best duo is the one who's averaging the most points, obviously. So that would be Luka and Austin Reeves.
Oh, okay.
We're putting
Luka.
My boys are putting up 60 plus, yo. What we doing?
Luka and Austin Reeves have been good. You know who the best duo like might be? Cade and Jalen Duren. They've been.
They
fantastic.
might be. They've been great. Like they have dominated at times. Like Jaden Durant feels like an automatic double, and Cade Cunningham is putting his name in the conversation of being the best pure point guard in the NBA right now.
Yeah, Cade's been great. He's missed the last few games, but he has been great. So
Bulls been a big win.
Yeah, they were up big, and then they tried to blow it, and then they somehow held on for dear life. Jokic actually looked like human. He missed shots, which has not happened all season. Like, he still had like an insane stat line and a triple-double and stuff, but yeah, he actually missed shots. The Bulls kind of came crashing back down to earth over the past couple weeks. The Giddey injury, when he got his ankles broken, they kind of crashed down a little bit. Kobe White's back now. See how that goes.
Which is their best player, really. But yeah, Jokic was ridiculous. 36, 18, and 13 last night. And Jamal Murray was great too. Jamal Murray's felt like he's gotten back into form. Looks like 2023 or 2022 Jamal Murray.
Yeah, Murray's played great. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. I mean, the Nuggets they've been great. They've been the team I've definitely been most worried about in the West. Now, the way Houston has played these last few games, I'm a little bit worried about them as well.
Yeah.
Houston's got Cleveland tomorrow night. That's a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing how things look there. But yeah, those two teams in the West are definitely good. I mean,
the top four in the West is going to be tough. Gonna be tough with that. Anybody beneath them in the West. I think the Spurs are great and could be in that mix as well. But
Wemby being out a few weeks.
Yeah, that's rough for them. But the Thunder, Nuggets, Rockets, and Lakers just feel and look head and shoulders above every other team in the West.
Well, the Thunder is 0-0, so
except that they're 14-1 to everybody else. So
they're 0-0.
Yeah. Anyway. 14-1, one of the best starts to a regular season ever.
I watched that Pelicans game last night. They were just fucking around like I've never seen them just fuck around.
Yo, I made the dumb decision of adding shade to my my parlay, and I was like, these niggas don't even care tonight. No. So because they don't have to do anything because they're facing the Pelicans.
It was partially that. It was mainly fucking around with like Daniel was playing like the dumbest lineups possible. He's like, hey, here's a lineup with Shea, Isaiah Joe, Brooks Barnhizer, Jay Will, and Brandon Carlson. Like, what? What? You're playing Shea with literally the last guys on the bench out here. Because it's the Pelicans. And it's like, oh, we can bring Chet and Hartenstein back in. No. Keep these 5 out there. It'll be fun. No, the Pelicans, they had a trash game plan. The Pelicans game plan was, we are not going to let Shea score 30 to 40 points on us. That was their game plan. They were doubling him in the backcourt. They were tripling him when he crossed half court. They were not going to let him score. So Shea was just like, all right, well, I'll just get a bunch of assists. So he had like 8 or 9 assists. He should have had more, but this team can't shoot. And then if he didn't get the assist, he got it to Hartenstein, who probably got a hockey assist off of it. Shea did, because Hartenstein got the assist. Now, Shea was like, all right, fine. You're going to double and triple team me. You're going to play 4-on-3 against the rest of our guys. I'm going to beat this easily. But then it was very funny. So for people who don't know, Shea has this point streak, this 20-plus point streak. It's been 86 straight games, I believe, which is the second longest to, well, third longest to Wilt. But Wilt has the top 2 spots. He's like 5 or 6 games away from surpassing Wilt's second streak, because I think Wilt's second streak is like 93, and his first streak's like 100 and something absurd. So he has this 20-plus game point streak, and he had 15 points with 3 minutes to go in the third. And they're up 25. He's going to sit in the fourth, like he's been sitting in the fourth in over half the games this season. So they're up 25. Everyone knows he's going to sit in the fourth. 15 points with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And I'm like, oh, does he know? Like, is he going to like stat pad this? He immediately 3-ball drive to he tried to drive like 4-on-1 and he lost the ball, so a turnover. But he's like, all right, 3, I'm gonna drive again, I'm gonna take another 3, and the moment he hit 20, he's like, all right, I can pass again, I'm good, I got my 20. And then he sat the entire fourth quarter. But yeah, he was very aware he was 5 points shy with 3 minutes to go in the third. He's like, I'm getting these 20 points. I don't care what defense they're throwing at me. I'm getting these 20 points.
This dude doesn't play the fourth quarter anymore. That's how much y'all are demolishing these teams.
We're playing some trash-ass teams. I mean, we played... Well, I last week we played the Warriors and Lakers. They're supposed to be good, and we kind of
y'all treated them like they're some trash ass team. Everybody's a trash ass team to y'all. What the fuck are you talking about?
I like how even Steph said that. Did you see Steph's comments after they beat the Spurs? He's like, you guys kind of got blown out by the Thunder. He's like, yeah, who doesn't have a bad loss against the Thunder?
Exactly, everybody. It's like it's a running joke now. Like everybody's getting murked by the Thunder, except the Trailblazers are the only ones that were able to break through this year.
That was still the NBA gods forced us to lose that game because they gave us.
I think y'all losing this weekend though. Either the Jazz game or the Trailblazers game. Y'all are gonna just drop that, just be it silly.
Both
it
of those
always
games
is
are
with
at home.
Yes, but it always is with these reigning champions that have these dominant starts of the season. It's always the games that you least expect that they lose. And Trailblazers again, no, I don't. I think y'all will smash them. But Jazz, I think do play well enough. I think with their young players that y'all will be lax on them. Y'all won't take them seriously, and they could surprise you.
This team doesn't do that. This team goes in there knowing we're going to get the best shot from everybody and takes everyone pretty serious. Like there's no like relaxation with this team. I think that veteran teams might do that. Like this is still the second, third youngest team in the league. I know we're the champions and everything, but I'm sure you heard Shea's comments last year or this season where he's like, I don't want just one title. Like we didn't accomplish anything just winning one title. I'm not even happy with how we won this title. Like I didn't feel like we played our best basketball. And this team doesn't like overlook opponents because we've had opportunities to do that. There was a back-to-back earlier this week where it's like, oh yeah, maybe we dropped this game. It's back-to-back. It's on the road. I think it might have been the Memphis game. We were down big in the Memphis game. It's like, all right, third game in 4 nights, back-to-back on the road. Memphis is up 20. Like, yeah, maybe you just kind of, and then they came back and they won. So this team just doesn't roll over like that. So I don't know. I don't feel like they're going to lose to any bad teams. The Portland game, I think Portland is good. Like you called that to start the year. Portland's a little bit better than probably given credit for. Portland also had an absurd shooting night that is not going to often be replicated. And I do think the schedule played a part into it. It was a back-to-back. The game on Tuesday started an hour later than every single start time in the existence of NBA history. I think that played into it a little bit. Look, we lost 0-0. It's fine. I don't make excuses, but
Sounds
I don't
like
think
it.
I don't think we're losing. You know what I dislike? I dislike fans of other teams. Just all of them. But I really dislike fans of other teams. Of like Houston fans were doing this. I think this is the dumbest thing ever. Houston fans, after they beat Portland, and they're like, oh, I guess beating Portland isn't for everyone. And they're like trying to clown OKC fans on that. It's like, we beat y'all opening night. Like, great. You beat a team that we lost to. Okay. We still have the best record in the league. We still beat y'all. Like, taking credit for a victory of another fan base is dumb as hell to me. And I said this when the Avs lost in the playoffs to the Stars last year. And then Avs fans like got excited when Edmonton beat Dallas in the conference finals. Like, oh, haha, Dallas lost again. And they beat us though. I'm not happy that Edmonton beat them. Like, I'm not excited. Like, okay, Dallas lost. Cool. I'm excited for that. But I'm not going to, like, cheer Edmonton and be like, aha, LOL, Dallas. Like, you guys, like, they beat us. What? I don't like that. Just, your team lost. You don't celebrate other wins on this. Louis said, I can't get on board with this. Transitive wins are fun. All right. I think they're maybe, but, like, if they beat your team, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't celebrate when I know. I mean, in my past fandom, when I was younger, I did celebrate if the team that beat me in the playoffs lost to somebody else. I did get some type of joy out of that. But now in my extended age as a jaded NBA fan, no, I don't really get that much joy. Like I've said before on the show, I prefer the team that beats us becomes the champions, so I could say that we lost to the champions.
See, I don't want the team, especially if there's like a rivalry. I don't want the team to win the title. That's
if it's us versus the Boston Celtics in the finals, no, I do not want the Boston Celtics to basically win that one. But if it's like the Nuggets, when the Nuggets beat us in 2023, I did get some solace out of the fact that they were able to complete the job, and we can say we lost to the champions.
Yeah. See, like I didn't want Dallas to win the Stanley Cup last year because they've beaten us twice in the playoffs. It's like, I don't want y'all to win because then, like, fan base...
I didn't want Denver to win in 2024 when they beat us. I didn't want them to win after that. If it's new to them, and we already had a win against them in the playoffs back in 2020, so like them beating us in 2023, even if it was a sweep, I was fine with them going on to win the championship. But then when they beat us again in 2024, I was like, no, fuck you guys, no.
I just don't get celebrating other teams' victories, especially when that team beat you. Like, like as a Lakers fan, are you going to cheer? Like, you guys beat Portland earlier this year, right? Didn't y'all beat Portland? Yeah. Like, oh, LOL, we beat the only team that beat the Thunder. Is that a victory for Lakers fans that you beat the only team?
To be fair, we don't have any type of like real rivalry with you. There's no one on our team that used to be one of the more like iconic players in your team's history.
No, there's a rivalry. You know what the rivalry is.
Maybe to you, maybe to y'all, it's not to the Lakers.
No.
You're not even in
the
top 5. You're not in the top 5
okay.
Laker rivalries. You're not.
I agree with that. I totally agree with you. Team to team rivalry? No. You know the rivalry between Lakers and Thunder. And it's honestly a bigger thing than a team to team rivalry. It's very toxic. And these fans will take any victory they can get.
Well, I'm not one of those fans. I don't really I mean, I know LeBron has history with the Thunder, but I'm not a LeBron fan. I'm a
Okay.
Laker fan.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Lakers and the Thunder. I
Sure.
don't register to me. Clippers, Suns, Kings, Portland Trail Blazers, Boston Celtics, New York Knicks. I can name about 10 more teams that we have. The Nuggets. I can name 10 or so teams that we have a much bigger rivalry that's much bigger on the scale, that it's more than just about basketball as well. It goes deeper than that. It has history that goes about like decades. Like, no, the Thunder don't make that top 10.
No, again, I don't disagree with any of this. I'm also not going to ignore that there is an actual online rivalry between two fan bases that is just as toxic.
I don't know about any of that. I don't be online and don't be tapped into what fan base as far as them, and the people that I follow, like the Laker primary accounts, they're not like that. They're not like that towards Thunder fans. Everybody in the NBA, every fan base wants the Thunder to go down because they're the favorite. It's not really a Laker Thunder one that I see personally on social media or online.
Again, I don't think there is a Thunder and Lakers rivalry, SP3. Again, I'm agreeing with you. And if you don't see it, great. Your timeline is cleansed, and good for you on that. I also think you probably do see it. You just aren't seeing what I'm seeing. The Luka-Shea rivalry is a very real thing that Luka
is
fans...
totally different from the Lakers and the Thunder.
I know.
That's a player rivalry.
Yes. Here's my point. There is still that rivalry there that Lakers fans / Luka fans take very serious when it gets very toxic. Okay, but they're transitive property Lakers fans because Luka is on the Lakers. But it's Luka fans take and Shea fans are the same way. It's a very serious rivalry between them, to where Luka fans will celebrate, oh, Shea had this terrible game. Oh, Shea needed this many free throws. Oh, Luka needed this many free throws. Like, it's a real thing. Let's not pretend like it's not.
I'm not saying that it's not. But our conversation started about the Lakers and the Thunder. Now I understand you're using the art or the tool of transitive properties, and that's all fine and dandy. We could have said that a long time ago. Player versus player rivalries, I think, are much different than team versus team rivalries and what the online discussion are about those. Yes, I do acknowledge and understand that there is a Luka versus Shea rivalry. And I do see some toxicity in between those two properties, but I do not 100% do not see a lot of the Laker fans getting involved in that. Well, a lot of Laker fans do big up Luka and will get into it with Shea fans, but it's not like they do a post of stuff like that. I've seen more of praising this generation, this era of the NBA, and shitting on all the rest of the eras more than I've seen this player's better than this player type of shit. I see more of this era is greater than every other era, which makes me fucking sick. I saw the post the other day that got like viral of Luka, of an AI picture of Luka, Shea, and Jokic, and it said these three players are greater than every other three players at any other time in NBA history. And I just had to make a post like 80s had Jordan, Bird, and Magic. The 90s had Jordan, Hakeem, Sir Charles. The 2000s had Kobe, Shaq, and Duncan. The 2010s had LeBron, Steph, and KD. Do we fucking forget about decades of the NBA basketball? Like, every decade has literally had three players that are as good, if not greater, than Shea, Luka, and Jokic. Is Shea, Luka, and Jokic on the same level as those players, on par? Absolutely. Are they better than those three players or any of those other eras? Absolutely not. This era of the NBA is probably the weakest and softest in the history of this organization. So I cannot even fathom even thinking that these three players are greater than every other player who lived in different generations. The fact that Kobe Bryant was able to achieve the scoring records and the stuff that he was able to achieve in the 2000s, which is the dead ball era, should be going back and documented, because all people want to do is shit on Kobe and talk about his efficiency, not realizing that his efficiency is the fucking era that he's in.
See, I see far less of that. I see more praising of overall eras and more fan to fan rivalry, like player to player rivalry. Because I see it a lot from Nuggets and Jokic fans with Shea. Again, Luka fans with Shea. So I see a lot more of that. While everyone praises Jordan, everyone praises Magic, everyone praises these guys, and they talk about this era and big it up
I'm
and talk about it.
With young people on social media. I don't know.
I feel like the young people are the ones who are also doing these player-to-player rivalries. So I don't know. It's the timeline's stupid, honestly. Yeah. Like it's all very stupid. But there's very much a Luka and Shea thing when it comes to this. And I know it started. We had this discussion where it started. Well, that's what I was asking. Of do Lakers fans celebrate? Of like, hey, we beat the Blazers. You guys lost to the Blazers, even though the Thunder beat the Lakers. Like, do you guys celebrate that? I don't know if Lakers fans do. I didn't really see too much of that, but I certainly did see, Luka fans celebrate like, LOL, Shea lost, or Shea only had 20, or Shea shot the ball terribly and stuff. Ain't a lot to criticize with Shea right now.
I mean, to be fair, most Luka fans are like 23 or younger.
There. So I'm tapped into the young fan base, as you mentioned.
You are.
I think all the young fans suck. How about that?
Yeah, I do too.
They're all terrible. I do agree with you of, like, I was thinking about this the other day when it came to like the big three era and like who the three defining players are of the generation and everything. And obviously whoever you pick for this era, Jokic, Luka, Shea, if that's the three, if you want to put Giannis, replace one of them, put Giannis in there. It's too early to like crown that right
now.
We're
only halfway through this decade.
Yeah, and I don't even know if like we're gonna be able to tell even just through this full on decade. Like it might need a couple years after.
Nah, I disagrry with that. Even as a young fan, I knew Jordan and Hakeem were like the two best players of the 90s at the end by like 98, 99. By the time Jordan wins the 6th championship, I'm like, he dominated the 90s. He's the best player of the 90s. Only other player who won championships really outside of the Pistons is Hakeem. He's the second best. And then I've seen different people say the third, whoever. I say Sir Charles. Some people will say Patrick Ewing. Some people say Reggie Miller. You could throw anybody else in there. By the end of the 2000s, who didn't know that era, that decade was defined by Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and Duncan? You could say, LeBron came on late. You could say that, but you those are the three. Those are the three that LeBron would have to overcome to be a part of the big three of the 2000s.
Okay,
I knew that by like 2008, 2009.
Okay, I misworded where I was going with that then. Yeah, I agree. By 2030, we'll probably know who it is. My point that I clearly failed to make is by 2020, like you knew it was more or less LeBron, Durant, and Steph, but they still continue to play at a high level after that. I mean, they're still playing at a high level 5 years later. And that was what I was trying to get at of, hey, even by 2035, like these guys could still be in a conversation with things. Like you might know who the decade is the decade, right? You can't add years to a decade. So yes, you know who the defining people of that decade is by the end of 2030, because that is when the decade ends. My point, again, now that I'm trying to clarify this whole thing, is that just because the decade is over doesn't mean these guys are completely done and pushed out of things. That's where I was trying to go with that.
Kobe was still one of the best players in the league till like 2012, until he gets the Achilles injury at the end of that season. He's still in that conversation. Duncan was still winning championships until 2014. So like Shaq was done by 2010s, but the two of the three players from the 2000s were still making an impact in the 2010s, and then of course Steph, LeBron, and KD are still in the conversation, still in like the top 10, top 15 in the NBA to this day, and we're 5 years into a whole new decade.
LeBron's coming back soon. Look forward to that.
Might be coming back tonight.
I look forward to it. I miss LeBron James playing basketball. I mean, look, he's inarguably the second greatest player of all time. There's an argument as the greatest player for all time. So to be able to still watch him compete is a gift that we shouldn't take for granted out there. So hope he plays well.
And like you said, like right now, the conversation is Luka, Shea, and Jokic, mainly because these three guys are quite obvious the front runners to be MVP of the season. But if you ask people like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they would have said Giannis is going to be that one for the 2020s. They would have said Embiid.
Yep,
they would have said Anthony Davis if he didn't have all the injuries over the last couple of seasons. Like there's a lot of people that sometimes early on. Kawhi Leonard should be in that 3 for the 2010s and probably should have been in the 3 for the 2020s, but injuries and load management and off the court activities prevent him from that.
Earlier this year, people definitely would have had Embiid in that. And I mean, look, he was an MVP frontrunner and won an MVP there, so it's not disproportionate to say Embiid would have been part of there, but that's how much things can change in just a couple of years, and sometimes things can also stay the same because Durant, Steph, and KD are still coming into this year looked at as top 10 players. All right, SP3, what did we accomplish today?
We accomplished a lot. For the first time in 257,000 episodes of In the Weeds, we actually started an episode talking about the last bit of wrestling that we actually watched. So we made history on today's show. You all should write down the date. Maybe you'll hit the lottery or something, because it probably will never happen again. So I would say that is the biggest thing that we accomplished on today's show. We saw the renovated C-suite, as we talked about MAGA the Lion, MAGA the Stallion, the Yam Yam Bigelow, the Thick Cheney, Vic Flair herself, Nikita Big Cat Lyons, and how she's going to twerk throughout all segments on WWE programming. That's what we accomplished on today's show. We talked about the legend that is Lovin' On Me and how Jeremy has single-handedly made it possible that Jack Harlow might be heard on AEW programming. And of course, we talked about some NBA and why this generation of basketball fans who are 20 years old and younger are idiots.
I think the biggest thing we accomplished today is, yes, we actually started an episode with wrestling talk. Maybe the first time in the Weeds history. Certainly the first time in the Weeds history with me and SP3. Results of our poll question. Favorite moment from Raw? 13% said Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. 24% AJ Lee and returning and Maxxine Dupri winning the IC title. 29% Dolph Ziggler and 34% John Cena in his last Raw appearance. Thank you all for voting in the poll question out here. NXT preview, fine. Gold Rush. Tatum Paxley, Jason Jane, Blake Monroe, Sol Ruka, Dark Stage, Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Ethan Page, Chelsea Green, Joe Hendry, Thea Hill.
That was great. Great stuff. I think it should be a good show tonight. I thought that the Roadblock special from Madison Square Garden earlier this year was the best episode of NXT television this year. I expect this one to be just as good.
It should be a good show. Thea Hale should win. Dark State should win, so stocks remain up.
No, Javon and Leon, please win for the culture, because they decided to put the titles on former football player who can't wrestle and Jason Jordan's illegitimate son.
I do actually think Javon and Leon should win. I'm selling this might be the highest point Dark State stocks get, so I'm
So you
cashing
better
out a
sell
little bit
now.
here.
Sell
Yeah,
now. Nah,
cashing out.
they'll probably Darkseid will probably win because NXT doesn't like good things.
Yeah, that's also true. What this show really needs is every match Nikita Lyons twerk walking through all of them. SP3, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on the Twitter machine at TrueHeelSP3. And if you like the return vibes from last night's Monday Night Raw, join us for the return vibes on Rated Raw Review starting in about 30 minutes on the True Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel, where myself and the returning Romeo, yes, he's returning, folks, back-to-back weeks in I Don't Know Remember. And not only that, we got a debut on Rated Raw Review. No Top Guy JJ this week. He's got the week off. He's going to rehab, going to work. He's doing his thing. We got Chris G making his Rated Raw Review debut. So join us. Returns, debuts. We talk about last night's Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden. Rated Raw Review. Join us live, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. I will be on Fightful channel, not the Overbook channel, but the main channel on Wednesday. I heard the plea from Sean Ross Sapp, so I shot him a DM and I was like, I'll take your place if you don't want to review 11 hours of AEW. And he said, I love that. His Twitter was messed up because he sent me I love that like 4 times, pulling back the curtain a bit.
Yeah,
but
that happens.
he gave me the go-ahead. I will be with Alex Pulowski, who I was going to do the Sour Graps review for Full Gear with, but I'm going to Full Gear, so I'm not able to join him for that. Instead, I'm joining on Wednesday, 11:10 or so p.m. Eastern, myself and Alex on the Fightful main channel reviewing AEW Dynamite and Collision 3-hour special, so join us for that.
There you go, SP3. Appreciate you, as always. Joel and myself will be back tomorrow.
Oh, yes. And I'll invite you live on air. You're invited. We're doing a True Heel Heat Check tomorrow, and our big topic is who has the better legacy, Steph Curry or LeBron James. So join us for that. True Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. Me and Chris G tomorrow.
What time is that?
Probably the evening, so probably like 5-ish.
Yeah. It might be tough. I got to think of what all the schedules are tomorrow.
Let me know.
Yeah. Well, just send it to me, and if I can pop on, then I'll be on. And if not, then obviously something came up. We'll get a clip of the Nikita Lyons twerk walk and as a drop on this show. I'll make that today. All right, everybody. Joel and I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, talking, I guess, NXT Gold Rush, Dark State stocks, my sadness over Thea Hale not being a champion, and whatever else happens on this show. Until then, talk to y'all later on. Thanks, everybody, for all love, support. We'll see y'all tomorrow.